Hey yo crew, what is up? Welcome back. Happy holidays. I am Pseudo. We're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff tonight, and this is a bunch of bricks on a stick. We're going to be talking about some balance, going through some builds, running around the Borderlands, and apologies for the late start, but sometimes you buy crappy third-party protein bottles and they spill protein all over your floor and you have to clean it up before the stream. Sometimes. Not saying that happens frequently. Anyway, this is Bladesworn. As you know, I'm going to be recording some stuff tonight, so bear with us with that. It's going to be a fun discussion. We'll also give away our gold giveaways, and welcome to our new dudes, Mike ZL, Miss Hexate, and Mr. Merc. Thank you for following over the break. Appreciate it. Got a whole bunch of new builds, whole bunch of new discussions for you guys. Some stuff I've been promising, but it's end of the year, so we're going to keep it low-key. Just jump into it right now. Go roam and chill. So the bricks are a mace skin, just to get that out of the way. We are here. We are... welcome back, guys. Hey, Maddie. What's up? In case you guys didn't know, these bricks are a mace skin. It's kind of illustrative of my point because this fantastic improvised weapon, improvised works as well, but improvised weapon set kind of covers what I want to talk about tonight, at least the first topic, and that's that balance in this game is really weird right now at the end of 2024. They've done a bunch of stuff, mostly targeted at PvE, that ended up affecting a lot of the other game modes and balance and how stuff plays and feels as well. But we'll get into that. No worries. We will start with roaming. These are the skills that we'll be illustrating later, maybe a little bit. Maybe I'll switch to another one of the builds, which actually runs rifles, so... tried out a whole bunch of weapons, and that's sort of where this discussion came from, and I think it's a good end-of-year discussion to have and see what people's takes are and maybe record it and throw it into a video. Because ostensibly I run a YouTube channel. Don't know how that happened. Anyway, let's get this rolling, jump into a Borderland, and again, shout out to Fable. Amazing, amazing cover of Fall, or Song of Fall, that he does, along with the Vibe music. Just one of my favorite bands, if not one of my favorite individual artists. But let's get this rolling. I am a Bladesworn player, and I am a theory crafter at heart. Honestly, I'll eat these words one of these days, hopefully, but if they ever make Bladesworn good, I'll probably pick the next crappiest thing to play in the game. I don't know. Probably Druid or something weird. Maybe I'll heal enemies to death. But let's get this rolling. We have loaded in. We will show off the build. There is a sword mace variant that I'm trying. Builds for both of these will be in the description, but we also geared out a boat rifle over the break, and this thing is pretty sick. This skin anyway. Not saying rifle on warrior's sick, because it still leaves a lot to be desired compared to something like ranger maces and whatnot, but it is an option, and the reason it's an option leads into our discussion for later, and that's mostly because, just going to spoil some of this right now, warrior weapons and a lot of older weapons that haven't been touched in a while on all the classes are kind of butt right now. They're kind of just, even on the class that is supposed to ostensibly only do damage, they really aren't. They don't do damage, or they aren't great compared to the things they do. They haven't been nerfed. You know, comparing something newer like Spear to something that hasn't been nerfed like Rifle, or something that hasn't been nerfed as much like Axe to something like Greatsword. But let me tighten this up, double check that it's rolling, and we will get into this. Better cat up and give the ladies and the gentlemen something to look at. Sorry about that. I bought a defective monitor arm, and it droops on me. Just kind of like my interest after the gym on doing anything but streaming Guild Wars. But hey, you guys, welcome back. Hopefully you are well. Hopefully you are enjoying. Hopefully you are out there in here staying warm. It has finally snowed in New York, so it's pretty dope that way. But let's switch over to the face cam, maybe record some footage, maybe have some discussions, and maybe give away some gold. I also want to thank the community, just really briefly. Some of this build, both of them, the sword mace variant as well as the rifle variant, did come from you guys and was inspired by this. Combat Stimulant is a pretty good skill with all the boon duration that I run on this build. So thank you, Shocktify, I believe, who suggested that. Very, very much needed. Hey, Kate, what's up? And thank you, Maddie. Oh my God. Thank you for resubscribing. That's 9 months. I think you're winning. I think you were tied with Aries, but you almost died on the road. I didn't even know you could send messages with a resub, but I'm glad you didn't. Was it deer or was it snow? Or was it snow deer? I would believe it. Oh man. Yeah, driving's no bueno out here either. I get you. Cool. Got that adjusted. A lot of this also, I want to give a big shout out to my friend Juice, who's successfully managed to play this game for like almost 3 days in a row. It's really impressive considering he didn't play the game for like 5 years, but jokes aside, I'm glad he's enjoying. Some of this was inspired by him because he is a very good player. If you've ever seen me duel him, he's been on like a nanosecond of one of our streams, and he was actually one of my first guests on one of the earliest videos I put up talking about balance, because he's gotten like, I think, top 10 in this game before, and he's quite good at it. Snowed 10 inches in an hour. Jeez. I am glad you are safe, Maddie. That is crazy. Yeah, if they don't pre-salt and that happens, like, the weather reports here as well have been very non-representative of the actual snowfall that we have gotten. Also, just a heads up for the gold giveaways, one of them will be on trivia, or based on trivia tonight, and based on what we talk about. Don't worry, we'll do the discussions a little bit later. We'll do some of the gold giveaways first, but you do need to be either followed on Twitch or just exist on YouTube, but there is a delay for Twitch, so about 2 minutes before you can enter. So if you want to, follow now and then unfollow afterward. It's just how the bot works. We need more hype music for this chat. Let's put on Reckoning. Great song. Oh, and we need to switch over the face cam as well. I always start it without, and then we go into this, because if I drop a whole bunch of frames at the beginning for the intro, it looks like butt and everyone leaves. So, can't have the intro drop, which I know is what everyone's here for. Oh, man. Getting off the highway. It must be downhill like an off-ramp. I heard someone... there's a small hill, right, where we're sort of semi on a main road here, and I heard someone skid down the entire road earlier, so I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm going to be driving at like 2 miles an hour tomorrow when I have to travel. I don't know why people like traveling for the holidays. It's like the most dangerous time of the year, and everyone's drunk, and it's like everyone wants to die or something. Secretly hate your family and want to kill yourself. Happy holidays, everybody. My family's pretty dope, though. Alright, we're gonna rifle this bitch to death. See if we can make it work here. Oh, that's a deadeye. Yep, that's a deadeye. Yep, that's a deadeye. Alright. Gotta kill the deadeye first. I didn't use any of my heal skills. I was mashing it and it did not come out. Oh, we're getting some lag. That might explain it. I had that guy targeted. The game just didn't give a shit. Alright. Video game? Do I get buttons today? Well, I'm not dead. That's pretty good. I seem to be an action camera. We're in the right control set. Divide music is playing. Everything seems to be working, chat. We have bottles here. Get him, Maddie. Are you feeling lag? I'm feeling something, man. Maybe. Oh, I need to restart XPadder. I was having this problem last time where XPadder, like the controller's fine now, but XPadder was like getting me stuck in a different control set all the time. So it was kind of a bitch. They don't want to fight the 2v2. Thank you for the save, Maddie. That's why you visited the family a month ago? Yeah. Pretty much. Holidays are weird. You either love it or you hate it. There's no in between, I find. Man does not want to fight. Doesn't. Shoot him, Canuck. Oh, fine. Shooting the druid. I love cats so much, chat. They're really just the best edition of World vs. World. Good lord. I gotta sort this control thing out. This is real bad. Okay, we're gonna close XPadder real quick and give it some priority and then reopen it and see if I can actually not get stuck in the wrong control set. If I hadn't switched to the face cam, you guys could see what I was talking about. It was in 2 the entire time, and I'm not supposed to be in 2. I'm very much not. Alrighty. Reach over to my keyboard, but welcome back. Hopefully you are well. Usually my setup works, so if you'd like to grab the setup, ringing endorsement for it, I know. Feel free to grab it from the description. It should have all the files downloadable. I use XPadder and reWASD, and usually can play this game on a controller. Sometimes maybe, sort of. Okay, we're going to do a quick button check. Button check. Not a lot of delay. Okay, I think we should be good, so if I make any more excuses, it's just me sucking dick in a bad way. Let's go get him, Maddie. We got a couple discussions to do tonight, guys. It's gonna be fun. Also, what food are we running? We have the correct stuff. Okay, good stuff. Let's go back to that camp. They clearly want it. Let's go. Come on, mush cat, mush. Do you guys like war claws? Because I really don't. Honestly, I find them really annoying, and not annoying in a good way like real cats, annoying in just an annoying way like video game cats. They have too much health, they don't go fast enough, they don't feel like a mount, they just feel annoying, you know? How many we got in this camp? Is it just the Deadeye? I think it's just the Deadeye. Sick. There is definitely some lag, like you saw it there. Oh yeah, there's huge lag here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, I mean, I said if I make any more excuses, you can call me on it. But like, I got into combat after he stole there, and I had conditions on me. Like, yeah, she be lagging, boys. Wrong weapon set, always good. This is 5, Maddie. Get out if you can. We're not gonna be able to take it without some help here. Yep, Dragon Trigger whiffing. Off to a flying stop. Yep, we're dead. We're dead. I'll die with you, though. And you can tell if it's lagging if Greatsword does, like, the stutter step. We might have to just do our discussion early. Oh my god, look at that. Okay, it wasn't XPadder and it wasn't the controller. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like at EBG being a lag fest, dude. Oh yeah, the new PvE war claw is amazing, but they couldn't do something like that in World vs. World. That would be a nightmare, you know? I mean, maybe it would be more fun if we could, like, jump into keeps or whatever. Yeah, you can't even use teleports. Oh my god. We're not queued on this map, are we? Okay, 6-person queue. ANET, buy better servers. Go back to Amazon. Alright, we might have to do our discussion first, guys, because this is egregiously bad. So I'll give you guys the trivia question right off the bat. Reward the people that showed up, and Maddie, who died for our sins of lag quite early. Our trivia question for tonight, or at least our first trivia question, is in which game mode does Arcing Slice or can Arcing Slice actually do more damage than Arc Divider? So exclamation point, either PvP World vs. World or PvE in chat. I guess I should specify the plus 50% version of Arcing Slice. And that will be for 25 gold. Get that going. Oh, my shoulder, like, not blend into the background. All right, let's do a lag test here. Okay, we're cleaning up. It's fairly awful. Fairly awful. Not the worst. Just farm some stacks here. Maddie has entered World vs. World. That is a good guess. There are 3. I suppose you could also enter PVX if you think it's all of them, but it's not PVX, so don't enter that. Okay, now we're lagging. We're going to a different map, Maddie. This is awful. We're going to, like, go to desert or something. This is basically unplayable. I suppose if we're lagging, the enemies are lagging as well, but it's... People be home for the holidays and playing video games, I guess. Desert is also cute. Yeah, tell your parents to stop playing video games already. Jeez. Talk to your family instead. Let me play video games. Ah. Let's see how it looks and sounds and everything here, chat. No, we're good. We're good. We're not dropping frames. One of my previews isn't like trying to render at 1080 like sometimes it does. It's good. We should be fine. Yeah, we're good. Cool. I don't know what that's about. That one's not live, but only have 2 windows, so. Make sure it looks good and sounds good. What else isn't queued? Go to... What's happening on other Borderlands here? PvP, you checked the wiki. Interesting. You are allowed to cheat, so while we wait for this camp. Also, welcome back, Coolster. Thank you, thank you. I'm gonna make sure I don't have the wrong answer here. I did check this, but tis a struggle. Tis a struggle. Again, if you'd like to enter late, the question for tonight is, in what game mode will Arcing Slice, which is the Greatsword F1 for you non-warrior players, actually do more damage under 50% health than Arc Divider, which is the Berserker F1? It's kind of interesting, and it's pretty illustrative of what we are talking about tonight. You are allowed to cheat, so Coolster is perfectly within their rights. I miss the triple spin, you know? Okay, okay. Okay, okay. Yeah, my answer's right. Don't have to panic. Neat. Neato potato. Get some more stacks here, chat. But yeah, if you'd like to enter, type exclamation point the game mode that you think is correct in chat. You are allowed to cheat. You are allowed to phone a friend. You are allowed to cheat and phone a friend. And phone a cheating friend. And we'll get this going. And that'll segue into our discussion that we'll have tonight. And hopefully the lag fest that is World vs. World will clear up and I'll be able to press buttons after that. I never account for the technical problems, you know, chat. Never look at my microphone to make sure I'm streaming. It is a thing. But it's okay. We have successfully taken exactly one objective. We will now duck out to Firefox. And I will record the first thing and then give you guys... it's going to be a little bit different tonight. So we're going to have a lot of like Firefox capture, a lot of stuff. But I do want to have this discussion, and this is the best time for it. So let's bring this up. Let's log out just for a second. And let's jump into some balanced stuff here. This is going to be more of a podcast style tonight. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Let's get some better music for this. Rave the Requiem. Amazing, but, you know. Okay, so, hey there, I'm Pseudo. Welcome back. And tonight we're going to be doing a little bit of a discussion on Guild Wars 2 balance and what that sort of means in terms of, like, actual meaningful changes going forward. So, if you want the TLDR of this, you can just skip ahead. The answer to all of the, you know, what can they do is more frequent balance patches, you know, roll the outro. We're probably good there. You can just, you know, you don't have to think about it, but it is what it is, right? But if you want the full synopsis, we're going to be talking about it a little bit tonight, going through some notes, and sort of here's my suggestions for or my analysis of what they did in 2024 and what they could do going forward. So I want to preface this with, Everyone's balance preferences and perceptions, including the devs, is very much influenced by the game modes that you regularly play or don't play, and what professions you play or play against, or specializations, etc. So while I'm trying to go in order and build this discussion coherently to a conclusion, try to watch the video to the end and look at this discussion through the lens of what you play, and maybe frame your comments as such. So I tried to keep this short. I tried to condense it for people who don't maybe live in the build editor like me, but this is kind of illustrative of the problem that we've run into, and we're going to go through each game mode and then do some global conclusions and like what they can do about it. So PvE, currently there's two balance problems that I see that are, I try to distill it down to two things for each game mode, so we'll cover those. In PvE, there's more nuance to this, but this is what it is. In PvE, there's the Virtuoso / LCM problem, where Virtuoso is just completely broken compared to all other sort of DPS specs. It does ranged cleaving DPS from 1200 range by default. It has a bunch of invulns that classes don't inherently get. They just sort of get to spec into Virtuoso and then do a bajillion damage. And if you don't know, these dagger attacks are 1200 range. They pierce, so are your blade songs, and you inherently just get an invuln on the class. And also, if you play Power Virtuoso, you have the freedom to take a bunch of utilities that other classes, like Bladesworn, or even other things, don't really get the luxury of doing, because you need the utilities to even function or do your rotation of DPS. But with Virtuoso, you a lot of the time have the freedom to just sort of take whatever, and then you can jump into a raid and do content like Legendary Challenge Mode, or LCM, Ceres, and probably the new LCM, with very little downside. There's no reason to take anything but a Virtuoso as a damage class. It is meta, and that's the second problem of this. It's not just Virtuoso or Willbender, whatever you think about Willbender in PvP or World versus World. It's not one class that's really the problem. The Virtuoso issue is illustrative of the meta problem. So when Guild Wars 2 in 2024 announced that they were doing this sort of, let me jump over to this capture for a second. When they announced that they were doing this homogenization of Boons thing, where, Bladesworn can give Alacrity, and Berserker can give quickness, and Untamed can give quickness, and everything can conceivably play one support or the other, or a damage class, I was like, great. But after talking to my game design friends, we sort of came to the conclusion that no matter what you're doing, whether it's World versus World or PvP or whatever it is, or in any game mode really, you're always going to have a meta. So for PvE, it's Virtuoso. For PvP, it fluctuates. It was Willbenders for a while. It was Catalyst for a while. There was the Cat Apocalypse. It was even Bladesworn for a while, when it could just heal itself with like 9 different shouts, right? The problem with this is ArenaNet's balance cadence of every maximum 2 months per balance patch, and that's generous because we haven't gotten one like 3, and sometimes we don't get them in like 6 months, is not fast enough to address the actual problem of there always being a meta class, whether it's a healer or whether it's Virtuoso or whatever it is, chat. There will always be a meta, there will always be a best in slot, and there will always be a way to do a specific fight. Varying that from fight to fight isn't necessarily a bad thing. For example, Portal Virtuoso is almost necessary the way most people do Harvest Temple, but you can do it without it. Having a meta for a fight, as long as the fight is completable in a different way, is fine. The problem is some classes, whether it's Warrior or Thief or certain NG specs, are just not considered good enough healers at this point, and their balance cadence is not fast enough to address this. So what you get is you end up with the 6 Virtuoso problem in PvE, or the billion Willbenders in World versus World, where regardless of its actual power level, or whether or not it's good or just broken or able to do anything the best, if it is also able to bring something else like invulns or teleports or no downside, essentially, you're just going to take that as your healer or whatever. So it becomes the best. And this is the line in the sand problem that Virtuoso, going back to point 1, this is the line in the sand problem that LCM created. So ArenaNet did this wonderful thing where they said, we're not going to nerf Legendary Ceres challenge mode, we're not going to do something like that. We're going to not fix the bugs, and the fight will have more health, and it will be harder because you will see the successive phases more, right? Also, a reminder, chat, if you'd like to enter, our question for tonight is, which game mode does Arcing Slice actually do more damage in under 50% than Arc Divider? And this we'll get into this. So obviously, when they made Legendary Challenge Mode a thing, so you have the regular Ceres fight, you have Challenge Mode, and then you have Legendary Challenge Mode, that drew a hard line in the sand. And these are some things that we've been talking about for a really long time that come up in my streams a lot, so I thought I'd make a video about it. When you have a PvE line in the sand that you can't go backwards from, it makes it very difficult to undo power creep. Now, the reason I covered both of these points together is I think the solution to both of them, and again, the TLDR is faster balance patches, please, which is necessary to do any of this. But even if that's not going to happen, you're going to need to nerf LCM a little bit, but in conjunction with nerfing everything else in the game. If you want to avoid further power creep when the new Legendary Challenge Mode comes out, or if that one's bugged, the Legendary Challenge Mode. Because otherwise, you put a line in the sand where you need Virtuosos to do this fight, you need the Omega Healer or whatever it is, whether it's Firebrand or Mechanist or whatever flavor of the day is just the best healer right now. It's Scourge is amazing as a support healer to do these fights, and we can only go up from there. Now, how does this impact the other game modes? Traditionally in Guild Wars 2 it doesn't, right? Because you have very different balance. You have PvE, where your numbers are quite high. They do a lot more damage. You have World versus World, or you have World versus World, where your numbers are a little bit lower. And then you have PvP, where everything's normalized and balanced based on amulets, right? However, a lot of this jank is kind of spilling over into PvP. So now that the power creep is just going up and up and up in this game, right? Damage and also tank in PvP is way too high. It's insane. Some people call it a first-person shooter, where you just come out of stealth or you come out of invul and you die, right? As soon as you see a player, they're dead, or you're dead. And this is somewhat the fault of relics, because relics, most of them in PvP, especially the damage ones, have not been adjusted or nerfed. And I don't know about you, but relics are not selling me a new expansion. Even as a vet or as a new player, I'm not going to know what relics are. And as a vet, I don't care. Even as a build nerd, I don't care. I would rather get more runes and sigils and whatnot. So the solution to this, now that the up and up and up of PvE is affecting everything, because let's face it, most people play PvE in this game. The solution to this in PvP is nerf literally every relic. You see them do this with some relics that are just broken, right? Like Relic of Speed or Relic of Rivers. Eventually they get nerfed. Even Akeem doesn't have the potential to do as much as it does in World versus World, right? But this is what I'm talking about, where everything is nuts and it's just getting more nuts. And you can, obviously, we'll touch on this later, you see this a lot in World versus World, where in World versus World, this is exacerbated by things like more stats or concentration or different builds or whatever. And that's part of the fun of World versus World. I'm not saying change that. I'm saying in PvP, because we're just going up and up and up and up, maybe nerf some of the new stuff. I know that doesn't feel good, but maybe nerf it before you put it in the game. I don't know. I'm going to actually put on some Tropical House. Hold on, chat. Hold on. We need some chiller music for this. There we go. We'll do this real quick. Keep it low-key. A little bit more chill. Yeah. All right. So this leads into the second problem in PvP. And again, I tried to distill this down to 2 per game mode. The second problem in PvP and in World versus World, but mostly in PvP right now, is that whether it's a Burst Mesmer coming out of stealth, or a Burst Thief, or a Permanent Block Willbender, or a Bunker Vindicator, the amount of time you actually spend interacting with whatever you're fighting, even if you're the Burst Mesmer or you're the Bunker Vindicator, is basically, the window is much shorter, right? Because you're either dodging or in an evade frame, or they're dodging or they're in an evade frame, or they just 100 to 0 you in 8 seconds and you're dead and you don't get to play the game. And that doesn't really feel good, and that's not really fun from a design perspective. part of what made Guild Wars 2 Combat fun in the OG was knowing which skills counterplayed the opponent, right? Like, I'm a warrior, I have these CCs, I can chain my stuff together, but he has a mesmer, he has this many stun breaks on his bar, you know, maybe he's running 3 and he's a jerk like me, but like, you know, something like that. And whether you get 100 to 0 in 4 seconds or whatever it is, or you just live forever, the amount of time that you spend interacting meaningfully with another class is drastically shorter. Like, almost more than it's just ever been in the game. And that doesn't feel good for anybody, it's just annoying. So, and this is like double in World vs. World, where the power level is like, you know, 1 in 7, you know, 1.5 to 2 times higher for everything. The solution to this one is, in my opinion, and again, some of these are going to be hot takes, but I would like to see energy sigils just removed from PvP in World vs. World for a season. I know, calm down, keep typing your angry comment, but listen. Energy sigils are the most broken sigil in the game for competitive, period. If we go to the, you know, builder right now, and we go on weapon swap, again, get your giveaway entries in, but if we go to weapon swap, in World vs. World is the same as PvE. It regenerates 50% of your endurance when you swap to this weapon in combat. That's insane. If you have 2 of these on a traditional 10-second cooldown, or, you know, you run something like Elementalist or Warrior with fast hands where you only need 1 to trigger it every 10 seconds, that is equivalent and stacks on top of super vigor. It gives you effectively plus 100% endurance regen and stacks on top of the percentage-based endurance regen that things like Vigor or Signet of Stamina already give, which is crazy when you think about it. And in PvP, it's still equivalent to permanent Vigor, because it's 25% endurance. That's nuts. Like, either tone down energy sigils, or have them give Vigor so it can already be built into something that is limiting in the game, where there's a limiter to avoid this bullshit. Because what energy sigils essentially do is they enable a glassy build to live for even longer than it should, and they enable a tanky build to live way longer than it should. And I know, if it's too much, chunk it back up to 20 energy instead of 25, or 10 energy instead of 25. Put it back in after 1 season if I'm wrong. But I would like to see ArenaNet to just try stuff at this point, and energy sigils are ruining this game. And I say that as somebody who has played more Mirage than any other class, period, ever. Half of my playtime or more in this game has been on a Mirage. Not a Warrior, a Mirage. And they are vital to that class. That would give you some Carnival tickets to put back into those classes that need the endurance regen, like Vindicator or Mirage or whatever, or Daredevil. Because part of the problem that we're going to get into is moving into World vs. World. Everything feels the same to play right now, and this is partially due to the stacking damage buff reduction thing. Now, granted, ArenaNet did lessen this. They made it so that damage reduction, whether it's 10% from your class or the 1% from the repair buff or reinforced buff now from the anvil, or actual protection, which is 33%, don't stack additively. So if you have all of those, it wouldn't total up to 44%. It would only total multiplicatively up to something that's some amount that someone better at me than math would be, but it's less than 44%. So you can never reach 100% damage reduction, but they still do stack on top of each other. And while a lot of people call me crazy, I live in the build editor, I live in World vs. World, and I know how much things like protection plus, you know, the damage reduction food that you can get from ascended food, it's just aggressive power creep like we talked about, right? You can get 33% from protection, you can get another multiplicative 10% from this ascended food, you can get another 1% from reinforced armor and vitality, and I know people say 1% is not a lot. It's not a lot, but it's more. And the number of people that I have seen at like 2 health, or, you know, the magic pixel of health since they put this buff in the game is non-zero. So it does matter. So I would like to see, and again, I don't believe in proposing, like bringing up criticism without solutions. I would like to see chat, them take some of these damage reduction buffs, or at least the ones that you can get outside of a class, and make it so that it only takes the greatest value that you are ever applying to yourself. Frequently, this would be protection. So protection would not stack with the 10% food buff. It would not stack with reinforced armor. Sorry, you would still get the 1% vitality. There would still be a reason to go talk to an anvil occasionally. But similar to swiftness, outside of very specific things that would say it on their trait, which they already have the technology to do, they would not multiplicatively stack. It would only take the higher value. What would this do to the game? So again, similar to the energy sigil thing, it would slow the game down and it would tighten the bell curve of power. You would no longer get these outliers where, and it's sort of a reverse bell curve, right? Where things either do a bajillion damage, like literally PvE damage to you and you die instantly, even if you're on a tankier build, or they live forever and you can't kill them. And what decreasing these free damage reduction modifiers would do, at least in my opinion, would shorten that bell curve of power. And then things wouldn't need to do a bajillion damage in World versus World. And you could have meaning, like your stats mean something if you took toughness or whatever and invested into that. It would actually feel like you're doing something instead of everything just, again, shorten, I guess, the spread of power so that you spend more time, whatever build you're on, interacting with your opponent. And that it doesn't need to make the new spears or on warrior or guardian or mesmer just completely broken and do a bajillion damage in order to eat through all those damage reduction modifiers. There would still be a reason to create ascended food, because not everyone would have permanent protection. You know, not everyone's a lunatic like me and runs a bajillion concentration on their builds. There would be a reason to build differently. So we've talked about PvE, we've talked about PvP, and we've talked about World versus World, and they all sort of lead into each other, and that's why I wanted to sequence this discussion the way that we're doing it tonight. Again, if you'd like to enter our giveaway, the question is, while we're doing this discussion, get it in, ! The game mode that you think Arcing Slice, which is the regular Greatsword F1 on Warrior, which you can't see here because I'm a Bladesworn, does more damage than the Berserker version. And I'm not going to cheat and show you, but it is one of the three. It is either PvE, PvP, or World versus World. And you may cheat and go to the wiki, and if I am wrong, we will do 2 drawings. Do that afterward. Anyway, back to this. So, what's the second part of World versus World that's kind of insane? I bet you've already guessed it. Concentration, while being fun, and expertise to a degree, while being fun, is super stupid. This is something that I think ArenaNet is a little bit maybe working toward, I would hope, adjusting the values of, but this game was not designed for you to have 100% uptime of every boon. If you have 100% uptime of every boon, and every class has access to every boon, it even more dilutes the already diluted flavor of classes, which, spoilers, is one of my final points here. Whether you're a warrior or whether you're a druid or whether you're some kind of other class that, you know, isn't interesting, but I respect that. It is possible to get 100% uptime of almost every boon in the game on most builds. And that includes Alacrity now with the insane Relic of Rivers in World vs. World. Do I want ArenaNet to take things like Relic of Rivers out of World vs. World? Honestly, not really. Because those insane builds should probably exist there. They should probably, like, you should be able to build for an Alacrity, you know, Bladesworn or Druid or whatever, if you want to, because it's not balanced around roaming, and that's not really going to be useful in a Zerg. Do I think a Zerg should have 100% uptime of every boon? That's the real issue, because if we're going to balance around Zergs, this boon ball meta needs to go. And in my opinion, again, this is going to be hot take land, so put on your, I don't know, hot take pants and grab your kids, hide your wife chat. I would like to have more targeted, meaningful, counter-playable, not just point at the dude and he loses boons, but counter-playable, projectile-based boon corruption. Granted, World vs. World is already a sea of projectile blocks because of Firebrand, and other things, but mostly Firebrand. However, this still adds some room for your skills to be meaningful and counterplayed. And I say that also as a warrior main where Spellbreaker exists. I would like you to have a means of counterplaying boon corruption. Whether it's color coding all boon corrupt skills because it is so incredibly powerful in World vs. World because boons are so ubiquitous, or whatever. I would like to see more meaningful play between I have this boon, it gets corrupted into this, I better not get hit by that purple projectile that Revenant is throwing at me. I don't know if that's a magic bullet. I don't know if there's a magic bullet to any of this. Balance is nuanced, and it's almost impossible to perfectly balance any game, like CMC says a lot. But I think that would go a long way to addressing this boon ball meta thing that everyone hates fighting. Also, and I hate to say this, I would like concentration to be reduced just a little bit in World versus World, but that's only providing that you also reduce these modifiers, because certain things rely on concentration to be able to be played at all. Whether it's, you know, I'm biased because I play what's probably the worst class that's ever been in Guild Wars 2, this gun saber wielding dream trash can. Again, great idea, terrible execution. Maybe one day it'll get fixed. I don't hold out hope. But certain classes rely on boon duration to play at all, whether it's Bladesworn or actually Guardian, where you do need relatively high protection uptime. On, you know, non-things that aren't Willbender, but Willbender can benefit from it a lot. Or whatever. I can check after the stream. We're recording a thing, so strap in. It's going to be probably a little, like 8 more minutes of this. Don't worry. But certain classes rely on boon duration, and boon duration is fun. Expertise is also fun. What's not fun is fighting every boon in the game all the time, and what's ultra not fun is fighting permanent immobilized druids all the time. I understand that those are things in the game. I understand the systems in this game are not perfect, and you can build around things like Immobilize, or you can build Boon Strip into your game. But if you're not going to add counterplay in the means of, you know, more meaningful corruption relics, or new sigils, or heaven forbid you give classes interesting skills that boon corrupt and are, again, counterplayable, big emphasis on that, I want to say, it's not going to feel good, and everything is going to feel the same. Yeah, enchantment collapse, stuff like that. If enchantment collapse took 3 times the cast time and it was purple and you could dodge it, something like that, you know? I'm not saying everything needs to corrupt, because corrupting is super powerful. I'm not saying everything needs to boon rip. I'm just saying there should be more meaningful interaction between, if we're going to have a boon system in the game, there should be a counterplay system to the game. And that brings me into my last point, now that we've touched on all the game modes. These are global problems that I see after playing this game for 11 years, and I really hope ArenaNet can do something in 2025 to help fix this. Relics, this new magic slot that I get that's separated from my 6th slot on my runes, really good idea. Really cool that I can choose and customize the interesting part of my armor, and it's separate mostly from a lot of the stats. There are some unique runes that are relatively interesting in the game, like Rune of the Mesmer, if I can find it here, but most of them do relatively the same thing, which is, you know, duration or stats or both, right? I don't want this to be the only piece of my armor kit that is interesting. I'm not asking for more power creep, because again, I'd really like you to just nerf all the relics, at least in PvP. I don't want this to be the only meaningful part of my kit. And what I mean by that is relics are simultaneously OP and really boring. So, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a vet of this game. I don't even know about you. If, like, pipe up in the comments if you're a new person and relics are somehow selling you the expansion. But, or if they're not and you don't know what a relic is, please let me know below, because to me, having 6 new relics introduced every quarter or so is just a recipe for power creep, and it's also really boring when you could introduce like 2 new relics, 2 new sigils, and 2 new runes instead. There are so many stat combinations, even bad ones, I would love to have as a build crafter, possibly the only person that sits in the build editor at these days min-maxing their gear. I would love to have like a ferocity boon duration stat. I'm not talking about completely broken stuff like a power ferocity boon duration or something like that, just like weird stuff that isn't already in the game. I would love to have 2 stat combinations that aren't just power ferocity, that are 10% weaker than 3 stat. Maybe they can start with PvP and work them into World versus World in like 14 years or whatever their balance cadence for it allows there. Like, there are so many pieces that you could introduce that I guarantee veterans would get more excited about than more relics. Because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe relics are, you're excited for the new bee relic that grants you pheromones that literally says it poisons your enemies by attracting bees to them. Maybe that's selling it for you. Let me know if it is. But to me, even as a build crafter, relics don't excite me. I'm glad they're here. I'm glad that I have the ability to separate it from my runes. That is obviously a form of power creep because you get more versatility and it's not locked to a rune. But honestly, they're not doing it for me, ArenaNet. I'd rather have new sigils. I'd rather have a revamp of all the old sigils. I'd rather have you nerf some of the relics and the runes and the gear and give me more pieces to play with so it feels like I'm investing into my armor in a meaningful way instead of just having my armor optimized and then still getting shot by a Berserker class Mesmer out of stealth. Like, I want ways to interact with the systems that are in your game in a meaningful way. And as a build crafter, that to me, more pieces, different pieces that are already in the game would do that. But let's take a step back here. So I do really love this game. I want to be positive as much as I can. That's why I'm trying to provide positive, constructive feedback. That's what ArenaNet asks for. I'm trying to frame this in a positive note because Guild Wars 2 is great. I'm still playing it. I'm still playing Bladesworn 2.5 years later. I'm still holding out hope that they'll one day fix the Gun Samurai and give it interesting traits. But here's the thing, chat. Whether you're an Untamed who misses Fervent Force, and hopefully this will be the last time I have to say this, whether you're an Untamed that misses Fervent Force on your Grandmaster, or misses your interesting heal skill where you couldn't go below 1% damage and now it just makes you invulnerable, which is better, but if you missed the other one that, like, you know, healed you for all the health you lost when you took damage, those were interesting class things. Bladesworn, Daring Dragon used to allow you to repeat slashes, and there were ways to make these things interesting and good. Heck, Willbender just used to make you invulnerable or not die while Crashing Courage was active. That was cool. It wasn't good, but it was cool. Sacrificing, whether it's your utility skill of Dragon Spike Mine or Flow Stabilizer, or even something like a Signet slot on an Elementalist to have to do your rotation in PvE, if you're going to take pieces that should or shouldn't, whether you decide what they are, traditionally stun breaks are useful in PvP, but if you're going to take pieces that are traditionally useful in PvP, like stun breaks, and sacrifice them on the hill of being able to do your rotation in PvE just so a class can barely function, and obviously, again, super biased as the one Bladesworn player left on Earth, that is dumb. That is really stupid and lazy. I'm sorry, it is. Class identity in this game is basically gone. And I don't know, it's partially down to the fact that all these boons, you know, everything having all the boons in the game, or a lot of the different conditions in the game, or a lot of even the same tools in the game ends up playing what's just good, which turns out is having every boon or the OP relics or whatever. But everything just feels like it plays the same now. And I don't love that. ArenaNet loves diversity. They love that word. But if we all end up being different people, but wearing the same hats, that's not diversity. I understand that you needed to try to make Warrior viable in PvE. I understand that. It was stupid to give it Alacrity on Bladesworn, but even if you do it on Spellbreaker, I understand you had to try to do that so that people can play it. It's great that you can theoretically play a support warrior or a support engineer in PvE. Sacrificing a whole Grandmaster trait on a specialization to do that was objectively stupid. They should have put it in the support line and just said, when you take whatever trait that isn't being used right now, on specialization X, do Y boon. And if that was too much work, or if it's too much work to move it, please, dear God, just make this trait, Daring Dragon, basically unusable, like you did for many of the classes, whether it's this, or Willbender, or Untamed, or whatever, and then give us something interesting on the other two Grandmasters, or something interesting on the rest of the kit. Because look, chat, I understand that Secrets of the Obscure had to sell the expansion. And part of it is it had to sell the expansion to build nerds like me. I would have paid more money if they had not homogenized every single elite spec to be able to use every other elite specs weapon. I understand that was a feature that they had ready to ship. It was in the game long before Secrets of the Obscure was even finished. You could go into PvP and equip a shield on a Chronomancer and jump into PvE and switch to have a Mirage build, and the shield would still show up on your bar. The skills would just be grayed out. It was clearly tech that they had done. However, most elite specs, if not most, a lot of elite specs had their identity tied to their weapon. It is so weird to me that Scrapper, which was just wells and a hammer, now has no class identity because a Hollowsmith can equip a hammer. It is extremely strange to me that non-untameds get to choose their hammer skills. It won't show up in the builder here, but they get to choose their hammer skills, whether they get the unleashed or non-unleashed versions on the 4 through 5 or the 2 through 5. If you're not an untamed, it is objectively a better weapon, a more customizable weapon if you take the untamed hammer and put it on a druid. That is weird, and it just adds to this sense of homogenization and lack of diversity. I understand we can't go back. I understand that a lot of the specialization weapons now need nerfs because they were put into the game. Regrettably, for specializations, whether it's Deadeye or Scrapper, that no longer just are coupled to their weapon. Cool. Maybe we can give Scrapper some more class identity, make it tankier, more junkyard fightery. Maybe we can give Deadeye something other than just having stealth on dodge with a rifle equipped. There's no magic bullet to any of this, but my solution to class identity basically being gone, and this basically being Soto's fault, is we need interesting Grandmaster traits that change actual animations, functionality, gameplay, or all three again. We really need these. Honestly, I know ArenaNet, I know you're trying. I know, Cal, if you're out there listening to this, I know you want to have faster balance patches. Like, every 2 weeks would be amazing. It's not possible. I get that. But please stop sacrificing good pieces of your game that are working, like class diversity or class identity or whatever it is, so that the game can function. January is the first balance patch that we will have that won't really have to worry about a new expansion or getting something done, like getting every class playable as a support or whatever it is, or getting spears into the game and then addressing any of the balance issues or bugs with that. This is your chance. This is your chance to get interesting Grandmasters again. This is your chance to make some of the classes meaningful outside of, oh, I'm a healer, or oh, I'm a boon support, or oh, you know, I'm a damage spec that can do 1200 piercing damage from range, right? This is your chance. Please make it happen, because diversity is what makes Guild Wars 2 great. I don't want to be wearing the same hat. I don't. I understand that's a necessary evil at this point, but even failing having to wear the same hat for PvE, I would really like, at some point, the opportunity to wear a different hat than my neighbor for a different game mode. I don't know. Maybe it's not possible. Who knows? Maybe that's not in the cards. Maybe this game just needs to keep chugging along, pumping out swimsuits. But as a build crafter, as a theory crafter, and as somebody who really wants things other than boons or whatever conditions or whatever else added to Grandmaster's traits, meaningful gameplay changes. You know, Robert G once said when he was debuting Hollowsmith, where you sort of get to build your own Hollow Saber with the Grandmasters, and you sort of get to figure out how you're going to play with it. Please do that for every specialization. You guys can do it. This game rules. Your community's behind you. You got this. Thank you. Okay. Now we can go back and catch up on chat as well. Sorry about that, guys. Thank you for bearing with me. And go back to the rock music. I can give you guys one more chance to enter. If you would like to enter our first giveaway, ! The name of the game mode that Arc Divider or Arcing Slice, that Arcing Slice does less damage, or I guess the name of the game mode that Arcing Slice does more damage when a target is under 50% health, then Arc Divider, which is the Berserker F1 and the regular F1 on Warrior. Getting out of control with will benders. Game's too fast for certain classes or in general. Mobility-wise, not really. Relics are a cool idea. The problem, the relics clearly better, more unusable than others. Yep, that's the meta problem, Coolster. Some relics are just insane, like rivers. So relics, all buying expansions. Okay, so this answers my question. Thank you, Jan. Skyscale content, fishing, surprising. Yeah, so like functionality changes. And is it Phantasmal Disenchanter an example of what I want in the game? Phantasmal Disenchanter has way too long of a tell, but yes. The problem with Phantasmal Disenchanter is it just needs a buff, right? As in terms of Boons strip. Also, hey, Kashima, what's up? Sorry, we're recording content today. It's going to be good. We're recording 2 things, so bear with me on this. I can stop this recording, get that done, and maybe do the second one a little bit later. But yeah, so the thumbnail for this stream and the thumbnail for kind of encapsulating this idea is I want you guys to look at this, right? I'll bring up Firefox. Excuse me, one more time. I meant to do this while we were having the discussion, but it is what it is. So, encapsulating what we're kind of talking about is the thumbnail for this. And granted, I play Bladesworn, which is not a great example because it hasn't been balanced since the Stone Age. But if you look at these skills and you look at PvP or World versus World, you look at this damage, right? Maximum damage with 10 bullets, which is insane. It does 997 damage. Even with Might, it does 1,400 and change damage, right? Look at the Mace skill, Crushing Blow. This is a good skill. This is one of the last things ArenaNet touched. If you can hit this skill chunks. It also applies Might and Vulnerability to your target and refreshes itself if you hit Tremor, which is an easier ask than Dragon Trigger these days because of the delay on the 2. And then it doubles the Might and Vulnerability. Again, it combos with Tremor. This is a good interaction. You'll never hit this on a good player because the Thief will be over there in space by the time you cast it, but this is a good skill. The problem with this is, and the reason Dragon Trigger doesn't do damage, or the reason certain things like Greatsword have lost their identity, is because ArenaNet has this habit of balancing around cooldowns. And the biggest problem with Bladesworn is that they made Dragon Trigger the burst skill. So it has an 8-second cooldown, and it has to be the burst skill because it has to have an 8-second cooldown because all of Warrior's burst traits, whether it's Berserker's power or whatever, are balanced around having to throw them out or being able to throw them out every 8 seconds. So is its damage in PvE, etc., etc., even if that's less with Alacrity or Discipline or whatever. This carries over onto other classes like Willbender. If you look at something like Spear, Greatsword does a bunch of damage. It does, even with a similar gear setup. It does a bunch of damage on the 2 theoretically in World vs. World. And again, they don't balance around roaming, but this carries over into other game modes, so bear with me here. Solar Storm has a longer cooldown and does less damage. However, this button still does everything in the game and is allowed to do this because it has a longer cooldown. Fine, whatever. Spear is cool, probably needs a little bit of a nerf, but it's cool. However, the reason that you see Solar Storm played and not Whirling Wrath these days, or the reason that you see occasionally, I ran into one who was really good, Offhand Mace played, or at least played in place of Dragon Trigger, is because more powerful skills that do stuff feel better to use. And when you reduce something like Dragon Trigger to a perfunctory 8-second cooldown, it's not allowed to do anything good. The fact that this still has an unblockable on it and ignores blind makes it god tier in ArenaNet's mind. You're never going to hit anything with it because it's not affected by quickness, even though quickness is in your kit, but I digress, that's a Bladesworn problem. It's not affected by quickness. This has a longer delay on it and a longer cast time that isn't affected by quickness, and neither of these buttons ever hit in World vs. World because 20% to 40% of the time they're going to get stuck on tiny rocks. So the addendum to this is please make interesting skills. Focus your time developing interesting, good-looking skills that feel good to play if you're going to make this your class identity and your class mechanic. Crushing Blow can suck forever. No one cares. No one cares about you buffing Crushing Blow. Fix Dragon Trigger. Fix all of the billion bugs on Druid that happen with class or pet swapping, and where you sometimes get stuck in like something not having alacrity or you're having the wrong pet out. Please focus on the things that impact class identity ArenaNet. Yes, 8 seconds plus flow plus, I mean, that's fair. And then they don't take the flow into account, but you know. Anyway, that's a little addendum to this. We need to do a drawing. We got a bunch of entries. I think only one person has actually got it right. Interesting. Interesting, 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 interesting. You guys even cheated. You went to the wiki. You had so much time. Oh my god. People don't know how to read. Okay, so the answer is world versus world, and this plays into our discussion a little bit. So Maddie has won. Congrats, dog. Don't worry, we'll do more giveaways, but I will shoot Maddie 25 gold, and then we'll actually like do some roaming here, chat, and hopefully the lag is cleared up. Arcing Slice does massively more damage than Arc Divider in world versus world because ArenaNet does not balance based on roaming engagements. They don't. They balance based on what is doing damage in a Zerg. And the issue with this is you end up with things like Arcing Slice, which is on a Spellbreaker, not doing as much damage as Arc Divider. If I can pull it up here and check it, because it's not spammable as much. This is the cooldown problem. Arcing Slice has a 6 3/4 second cooldown, a little bit less with Alacrity. Arc Divider, in ArenaNet's mind, has a 4 1/4 second cooldown. And yes, you have to build up adrenaline, which is ridiculous to ask that you balance those skills around just the cooldown, but that's how ANET works. So, again, I don't think there's a magic bullet, but if something has a resource cost, at least to me, and you see this with other classes as well, like Druid or whatever it is, where you have to build up to enter a super form, a lot of the like Necro skills or like the Reaper Shroud 5 or they just pale in comparison to other things that are already in the game, right? It's very strange when you say Reaper Shroud 5 does less than Mesmer Spear 5, you know? Weird. Welcome, Metalhead. Appreciated. Thank you for the follow. You'll be able to enter our subsequent giveaways. Maddie has won the first one. Sorry, chat. But, like, I don't know. I think the cooldown, like, just things... I don't want things to have longer cooldowns just so ANET can stop thinking it. I just want them to stop thinking that way, you know what I mean? Like, when you balance around something having a 4-second cooldown or a giant, you know, a 0-second cooldown or a 4-second cooldown for Druid after you build up an Astral form, that's not really... It doesn't make those skills feel good to use because they're locked behind other resource costs, you know what I mean? Is what it is. I don't know. We need more rock music, and I need to finish my protein shake. And if you guys have any other impact, like, you know, any input or questions or anything, like, let me know. As again, we're just recording, doing an end-of-the-year chill stream, getting the, you know, if you think I'm wrong, let me know. But the damage reduction stuff, like, look at, this is the spoiler for the food video as well, chat. That is the best food in the game. And no, you're not hallucinating. That gives you 2 different Ascended food effects. Granted, one of them's not the best. It's just lifesteal, but it gives you $45 stats, 10% damage reduction, and lifesteal. You can't craft that. You have to know how to get that. And it's just power creep on top of power creep on top of power creep, you know what I mean? Like, when's the Ascended food gonna come out with 2 effects? When's the Ascended food gonna come out where you can dodge, you know what I mean? It gives you endurance regen. It's nuts. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is other than just make it only take 1 value instead of the others. We'll see. Game has potential. Let's actually do some roaming here, chat. Those people's eyes are gonna like glaze over and everyone's gonna get bored. Thank you for bearing with me with that. Hopefully the recording thing went well as well. Whew. Brain is fried now. Gym, recording. Oh my gosh. Hey dude, what's up? Welcome back. Thank you for the follow, appreciated. I stream Monday, Wednesday, and sometimes Friday, and we just chill and listen to rock music and theorycraft and run around the Borderlands. Complaining about Warrior occasionally. Are we on Tombs of... Sorry, you asked me that. I was catching up on everything. I don't think we're fighting Tombs of Desicar, so tragically not. I think next week we might be fighting you. judging by how this is going. Also, PSA chat, a couple of my guild did miss the lockout and immediately regretted it. The next lockout is in 7 days, so if you have holiday plans, be sure to set whatever guild it is, whether it's Vanguards of Ascension or another guild, as your guild of choice. Or if you're a Ronin, just don't set anything. Favorite bands right now? Nose itches. I like that you just didn't ask me to pick one. Divide Music, obviously. Extremely talented, what the song is. It's more just individual YouTube artists than bands, actually. But Divide Music, Fable, F-A-B-V-L. Rave the Requiem, extremely good. Kind of goes with your name, where they're like very, almost satirically religious, but like over-the-top, big sound religious and rock music. And what's the other one that I'm waiting for them to put out? I really liked Brothers of Metal, but they haven't put out a decent album in forever, so I'm kind of lukewarm on them. I can't think of the other one. Self-Deception, extremely good, and they're getting popular as well. No, this game really doesn't... Unless it's something like Thief, where they just keep nerfing Thief skills, which, I feel bad for thieves, as if that's even possible. The game does not do balancing around resource costs well, at all. They seem to... The devs do a lot of good, and the balance devs seem to have a really good grasp on most of the classes that get affected or touched, even if Bladesworn never gets things that make sense. They don't do resource costs very well. The design team seems to do resource costs extremely well, and then when the PvP balance team or World vs. World balance team get a hold of them, they're just like, no, this doesn't matter. It's just, it comes down to what they think they see being used in like game modes. Give me an example of metalcore, because genres are kind of subjective to what the person listens to. I listen to a lot of Freischwanz, which is a German metal, power metal band. Also a lot of Sabaton. If I said that correctly. If I haven't, I've been canceled already. A lot of Amaranth as well. The band, not the streamer. People get confused. They're extremely talented. I don't actually, whether it's any kind of content, I don't actually consume that much internet media because I work in internet media, Dream. So as bad as it is, I don't actually watch a lot of like Guild Wars 2 streams and whatnot. Occasionally watch Muck's videos. I occasionally watch, you know, Captain Crapface's videos because he's my fellow warrior complainer. Or critic. I don't have time for it. Max Dude is probably who I watch the most. Just because he's really upbeat, and I try to bring that forward in my streams as well, where I just want to have like a positive attitude. And if I am criticizing something, whether it's balance or whatever, Bladesworn, Untamed, you name it, I try to have it like have a positive impact, and because I don't believe in just complaining about a thing, because I think words are easy and work's hard. So it's so easy to just be negative on the internet. Fit for a king. I'll screenshot this. I've heard Kill Switch Engage. Yep. As I Lay Dying as well. I've listened to them. Very good. Falling in Reverse is kind of its own genre, and while Ronnie is an absolutely insane human being, I can't deny that he's talented, so... They're almost a genre of their own, though. It's some hybrid between pop, metal, and rap. And, like, hardcore. We need some, speaking of which... Where's the actual Bury the Light song? I might have reset the playlist. But I have hope for this game. I think that now, now that ArenaNet has finally completed their evolution of into, what's it called? Good, but definitely battle passes. I think there's potential for the balance team to get out a balance patch that isn't just boring, or addressing Spears. Yeah, Ronnie Raddick. I mean, what he is really good at is farming drama. Like, whether it's, you know, whatever you think of it, his ability to almost manipulate both his followers and the people that hate him. I can't, like, as somebody who works in marketing, he just clicks. All right, not my thing, but, you know, more power to him when you're good at something, I guess. I just wish, I don't know, I think people should be less controversial, not more. But we don't live in that world. We live in the age of the internet. But this guy, Divide Music, just hugely talented. Had to build a lot of resource to get into it. Are you talking about Destiny, Jan? Does Destiny qualify as an MMO? Because I know there's the Titan in Destiny is kind of like what Warriors should feel like in this game, or I've heard that here in HR. Yeah, I'm in marketing, but I work for a nonprofit because I'm not a huge fan of like manipulating people based on psychology. So we mostly deal with just like making websites for fruit distribution companies and not like, hey, here's some predatory crap to get you to click on a clickbait ad. Also, fun fact, chat, YouTube's actually finally starting to do something about that, where there's like an egregious clickbait video and then the actual video has nothing to do with what the video is, you know, the thumbnail's about. So we'll see if that happens, but they're rolling it out in India, which is generally their testing ground for this pretty soon. So look for that in like 2025, hopefully. That's a clone. Bro's got all the freaking invis, man. Also, was that a clone of a Reaper? That was interesting. Mesmer doesn't have this much invis. I play it, dude. That's amazing. It's right here. Yep. He's got that much invis. There's no way he's got stun breaks. Oh my gosh. So much mobility, too. Holy crap. Can I get out of here? Oh, nope. I'm just going to die in the fire. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine, chat. There's got to be a way out. I don't know all my, like, little lava hacks. Yeah, I'm in marketing, but I try to use my skills for good, so. Which mostly entails listening to clients, taking their feedback, going to my manager, telling him why my client's feedback is stupid and they're not going to want us to do the thing that they want us to do, doing the thing that they want us to do, except saving a draft of what we know they'll actually want, and then 80% of the time going with the thing that they'll actually want. So, you know, is what it is. Elder Scrolls Online crossover? Okay. Corrosive Armor. Corrosive Armor doesn't sound like an invincibility move, but, you know, Bladesworn. Sometimes things get weird names. No, it's very interesting as well. All of my Gunsaber skills whiffed there, chat. Everything but the auto attack just whiffed this worm. I don't need the stupid projectiles. Please revert my class. Thank you. Anyway, I try to whatever it is, just make it positive, you know? And it is interesting hearing people come from different MMOs and like get their perceptions on it, because apparently this game is heaven compared to some other MMOs where the build variety is basically zero, so. You're considered the biggest villain. I mean, fair enough. Make peace with your god or flying spaghetti monster on that one. I'm not going to tell other people how to live their life. But I am very interested to hear people's different perceptions of PvE or PvP or whatever, because obviously the consensus right now, at least if you average all the community complaining, everyone seems to think Willbender's super overpowered, right? At least in PvP, you know, PvP, World vs. World, PvE is kind of its own, like, bucket of cabbage where it just gets to do its own thing. I don't actually think Willbender is that strong in World vs. World, at least. PvP, it's nuts. But there are other things that people are finally figuring out that are as good, like Catalyst now. So it turns out just stability is, like, pretty good. So I don't know. It's strong in World vs. World, don't get me wrong, Dream. But it is killable. And I almost think... You know how Silhouette referred to Elementalist as a noob trap in one of his videos? where you see a fire wizard, you see that like, oh, it can do all these things, and then you end up playing it and it's like a nightmare in PvE to play, right? I almost think that Willbender is the new noob trap. No offense if you enjoy it or play it or whatever, but I think that you see this teleporty guardian space wizard and you see how strong it can be, and you see like Solar Storm and all the beautiful animations, right? And a lot of people who are... they don't maximize the potential of Willbender, because I think in the hands of somebody who's good at the game, I think Willbender could just be a god. But I also think that in the hands of somebody who's good at the game, a Spellbreaker could be a god, or a Ranger could be a god. I think that just the level of effort that Willbender requires is much less than those other two classes. And like there's like a larger gap where you just get to be bullshit, right, with Willbender, and then the top 10% you still need to like know what your buttons do and be able to counterplay and stuff, right? The thing with Spellbreaker is that gap to be good at it because of all the forced movement and everything is much larger. Same thing with Ranger. It's probably a little bit less than Spellbreaker, but it's much larger. You need to know your buttons. You need to know, when to take the pet in and out of you if you're a Soul Beast, or when to use the pet command abilities. The thing with Willbender is it's easy. And it's good. And it can do a bajillion damage, and it looks good doing a bajillion damage. It's the rule of cool, right? If something looks cool and feels good to use, people are going to play it. It's like if Dragon Trigger looked like, I don't know, Guy doing his, final smash from that Bleach anime that no one remembers, Naruto. The big roaring dragon, but it did like 2 damage. People would still use it because it looks cool, and it would probably get its damage adjusted up. Willbender's animations are beautiful. Mesmer Spear's animations are beautiful. Guardian Spear animations are beautiful. There's got to be some armistice between like those 3 things being the coolest looking things in the game and everyone else having equally cool animations. And then we get to the point where like, this does 2 damage, this does 10 million damage. In terms of actual balance, person on a game mode, there's got to be a point between 2 and 2 million. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. And I like when ArenaNet tries weird stuff. And I like that, for better or worse, how a lot of the End of Dragon specs seems to have gotten made was, what if we had a warrior that was an engineer? What if we had a thief that was a necromancer? What if we had a guardian that was a revenant sort of thing, And that's fine. That's cool. That's crossover. And that's, for better or worse, that is, I guess, the best... the more positive idea of cultural appropriation, where other cultures try stuff than the negative connotation that the word usually gets, or the term usually gets, right? But I don't like when you just take away the trade-offs for that. Like, Willbender had trade-offs where you couldn't just layer all the virtues. Bladesworn had trade-offs where you lose a weapon swap. And to some degree, having to give something up is part of class identity, or at least specialization identity. I almost wish that they would go back to trying to give everything a trade-off in the game. Did the trade-offs always make sense? No, Berserker was unplayable dog shit for like 4 years. Hey Lobach, what's up? Welcome back. Like, Berserker was awful. It lost toughness and it lost its regular burst skill when it was in Berserk mode, and they finally realized the toughness thing was dumb. And like, it also just lost its regular Berserk mode or burst skill, I think, period, and you could only go into Berserk mode. It was unplayable. It was almost as bad as Bladesworn is right now. It was awful. And they finally 180'd on that because they realized, I think, that they don't have the development budget to try to give everything else, like Firebrand, which is very popular, equivalent trade-offs. They did rework Firebrand, but it wasn't that stupid. Like, the rework for Firebrand is probably one of the better reworks they've done in the game. It would be wonderful if there was an opportunity cost like they added to Firebrand that made sense. I'm not saying everything just gets initiative now, but if there was an opportunity cost to each specialization. You know what I mean? They don't need to just be worse or as good as core professions. To some degree, I get the power creep exists, but like, class identity, diversity, other buzzwords that ArenaNet likes. Yeah, but you can turn the flashy creep down, Jan. Like, you know what I mean? You can make your opponents or your allies not look like an electric rave all the time on your face. Like, that option is in the game now. I am hugely in favor if there is a second motto for this channel other than cautiously optimistic in terms of real life or video games or Guild Wars or the balance or whatever it is, I think it would be options are nice. I do not understand why people ever, in almost anything, unless it is detracting from your experience somehow, complain about an option being in a game. Whether it's visual, whether it's in terms of build variety, them adding optional things that you don't need to use is objectively good. Can you turn the flower off? You can't personally turn the flower off, but I'm pretty sure that if somebody is using the flower next to you, you can turn those graphics down, unless it's, you know, marked as one of the things that either always renders or never renders in the game. Some animations are like that. For example, no matter how much I turn my graphics up, the Harbinger, Harbinger Shroud 5 thing always doesn't render for me. I literally never see that animation. But it is what it is. So I don't know. If you guys have the magic setting for that one, I'd love to see it, but at least it's stun breakable now. So, oh, I wanted to call that out, actually. I think it's called Vital Draw, like the 5 skill in Harbinger Shroud on Necromancer. It doesn't appear to be just Gravity Well anymore. Like, Gravity Well, you need a stun break with stability, or that moves you with stability, or just a teleport to get out of it, because it does like a knockdown, a float, and then a pull or something like that, or some combination of those. Vital Draw just does like 3 floats, and you can stun break it now. So that's amazing, just with things like Frenzy. So that I don't believe was in the patch notes, but good job, ain't it? That needed to happen, because that skill was having Gravity Well on like a 21-second cooldown when you trade it. Crazy town. It's almost like if Warrior had an unblockable thing that stunned you on an 8-second cooldown. Be insane, right? Oh, man. Where are all the fights on Desert, yo? Trying to get in here earlier, and people are like, nah. I was gonna fight those 5 red guys. I got stacks. Stacks to think about. I will probably cut that recording up into a VOD. So, you know, try to mark it as well. So, if that was not your thing, look out for the timestamps in the future. But other than just more class identity that doesn't... I mean, the reason I don't want Grandmasters that rely on boons and conditions these days, I guess, is because boons and conditions are so ubiquitous, right? So, in a world where concentration and expertise exist, or even in PvP where everything can potentially do at some point, not permanent, but every boon or every condition in the game, I would like more mechanical Grandmasters that change how you play the class. That would be great. But if we're going to nerf boons and conditions, yeah, maybe you can do Dragon Slash applies bleeding or poison or something, or maybe Untamed gets more poison application as a way of defining its identity. But as it is, everything having every boon and condition in the game just feels dumb. It feels like I'm fighting, you know, a Mesmer when I'm fighting a Guardian. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Tell me if you guys have a different opinion. But like I said, it's really helpful to specify what game modes you play. And how you would change it, honestly. Like, if you have a better, in the comments as well, if you have a better, you know, solution to some of this stuff while you're trapped at your holiday gathering or whatever, I'd love to read your essay of how you would fix the game and what you hear is wrong with it. Just make sure you specify what sort of game modes you play, usually. We can do duels. I don't know, people seem to dig the podcast style stuff. It's up to you, Jan. I'm always down to fight an armistice in the guild hall. What is really interesting, and what kind of started the boon corruption idea in my brain, is some of my guildies and I went into the guild hall the other day, and for whatever reason, we just started dueling with like the weird PvE balance where Dragon Trigger can do like 100,000 damage and stuff. It turns out Reaper Shroud 4 just chunks, by the way. But it turned out that the most powerful thing, because everything has every boon in the game, was just boon corruption necro, because in PvE it still has all its original boon corruption values, like skills that just ancillarily if that's a word, corrupt, you know, just by virtue of existing, corrupt 2 to 3 boons. There was nothing you could do. Your class just, you know, gave itself boons, and then they just got corrupted, and none of it has telegraphs or projectiles, and you just die. Because there's no way you have that much Conde Cleanse, even on a PvP build. So I understand that boon corruption itself is strong. Boon ripped even is strong. It's not a magic bullet, unfortunately. But it is something. 2 mechs. Alright, let's do this. Gotta fight something, chat, or people will think I'm bad at the game. We're not lagging now, which... Fucking God! Never get actual fights, dude. Is this a mesmer? Some kind of mesmer, I guess. Apologies that there's this giant pop-up I can't get rid of in the middle of my screen, chat. I can get out of combat and take it now that there's like 4 people chasing me. That's something. Out of combat. We're taking it. Let's go. I don't know. I don't know, Jan, but that would make sense. I mean, what's better than having a boon? Having something that counters having a boon, right? Or more recently, the spear itself. Well, the thing low hang for warrior, and the reason I didn't want to make this just a warrior sucks video, because that's most of my videos, is a lot of warrior, and I really hope that they're realizing this, a lot of the weapons have... Let me try to put this in shorter terms. Cal talks about design space a lot, right? No, the weapons shouldn't overlap. And you know, for better or worse, we actually really got that, where rifle is just it's even a better version of spear now. Spear sucks. Spear is awful in PvP. Oh my God. Never thought I'd see the day where rifle was better than the new weapon, right? But all warrior weapons do is damage now, because they've nerfed everything else. They've nerfed the block by giving it an incredible cooldown on shield. You know, they were always simple, but like, they've nerfed everything that was like way too strong on them. And whether it's the stun on unyielding dragon or whatever else. And warrior weapons by design were supposed to be simple, but now that they've nerfed all the interesting stuff on the weapons and all the interesting stuff on the burst skills, whether it's the triple hit on Arc Divider or unyielding dragon or daring dragon or full counter even over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. If you don't remember, full counter actually got dumpstered. It's like on its 6th nerf now or something. It just ends up with no power budget. And that and other things in the game that really hurt warrior, like the taking damage off CC skills and whatnot, end up just destroying your ability to play the class. Because if it doesn't do damage, and if it doesn't do anything else, it doesn't do anything. So yeah, taking the damage off of spear, hopefully in the long run, was probably pretty good. I really, 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 really hope they give something interesting to warrior, now that it's basically unplayable, you know? But I agree with you. He's right here. I like that that still tracks as well. Are you gonna like do anything to me, dude? What's this? The other Bladesworn player. Nice. Nice. That was a good steal. The one other person playing Bladesworn, I love it. I mean, I'll duel either of you. One NG Spear to steal Boon? That'd be pretty cool. Stealing Boons is another option. Here you are leveling up a warrior. Here's the thing. Warrior isn't bad because Spellbreaker still exists in the game, right? And if you have any questions about any balance of the game, like period, just feel free to let me know. I encourage people to be who are new and stuff. Warrior is not bad. Bladesworn is not bad. It just isn't interesting. All right, we're gonna We're gonna cheat here. Hang on, chat. I hate doing this when fighting thieves, but there's really no option. Where is it? There we go. So you're just gonna fuck off? I'll fight you. I'll fight you too. You see the amount of time I'm just not spending interacting with these people is enormous. Get revealed. This is another thing that I get into a lot, is there needs to be way more reveal in the game. Like a reveal relic would be very welcome. Because the things that reveal in the game right now are, and I say this as a Mesmer player, it's really egregious. Like, stealth is super overpowered, as lots of people have been pointing out recently. And it doesn't feel good to play or play against, because again, it's another thing that there's no counterplay really to it. It's like when they took the removing reveal thing off Deadeye, they acknowledged that stealth was a really big problem. So, has Spear been nerfed because of full counter? So I want more just AoE reveal things that are inherently built into classes, because then that gives them more power budget to give interesting things to Thief, instead of just balancing it around that one build that we just fought, right? Where you just spam stealth over and over and over again. Then they can give stealth to more classes. Then they could make Flicker Step on Bladesworn stealth you for 1 second, because that would be cool if you traded into it even. You know, counterplay is good because it adds the ability to have interesting things to feed into that counterplay. Has Spear been nerfed so much because of Spellbreaker's full counter? Spear's been nerfed so much because Spear was artificially juiced to begin with. Spear was artificially juiced because the warrior forms lit on fire when they originally debuted. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, is this Haiti? I think I know this guy. Heard he's kind of toxic, but is what it is. I'm not going to badmouth other streamers. Yeah, Spellbreaker was, like, really good in PvP, obviously, but, like, there's no reason to really nerf Spellbreaker just because of, or nerf Spear just because of that, you know what I mean? The reason Spear was nerfed is the same reason other Spears were nerfed, actually, as well, where they just overjuiced them for release. It's the League of Legends thing, where, like, a new champion will come out, right? And the new champion will be crazy stupidly overpowered. It'll be insane. Whatever it is, because they just want you to play it. And to ArenaNet's credit, for a long time, they didn't really just make the new elite specs were always a little good, but they weren't just like crazy stupid broken compared to the old weapons or the old specializations, right? In whatever game mode. They were good, they weren't broken. A lot of the new spears, including Guardian and Mesmer, who have not been nerfed, were just broken. And Warriors was just broken because it did way too much damage. But it only did damage. So when they nerfed the damage on it, you still see occasionally like Ellie's using Spear, you still see occasionally Revenants using Spear, because they do other things, and that's good. I'm glad they nerfed Warrior's Spear. I am. I'm glad they nerfed a lot of the other Spears like Revenant in PvP. I am. But it's not healthy to just juice the new thing and then be like, okay, roll it back. Like, the weapon needs to do something beyond damage, in my opinion. Like, it's a good setup weapon. Disrupting Throw is a great... It's my favorite button in the game probably right now, right? Because there's play and counterplay. Yeah, the ESO did the same thing. Absolutely, Coffee Scryer. It's just a video game thing that devs do. And, you know, it probably will keep happening. It's not really a fixable or a problem that needs to be solved. My friend has this great saying where it's like, don't create problems that don't need to be solved. You know what I mean? So it's one of those where it's just like, it's whatever. It is what it is. And I'm happy Spear got nerfed. Can we do this? No, that's out of range. This is the other thing. This is not a real teleport arena net because, you know, that No, Coffee Scryer, I'm sorry. I was trying to illustrate something. It's my fault. I don't think I can take a 2v1 with a rifle. Maybe. Oh, it's a 2v2. Okay. Dragon Trigger just didn't move me there. No reason for it. I was immobilized afterward, but, you know. One day Dragon Trigger will, like, work. Be amazing. There will be cake. I'm convinced. These red guys are pretty good. Kind of dig it, honestly. Don't know if I can take both of them. I can aim my Dragon Triggers, though, because I know the secret tech. I just think A-Net's on break right now. It's been a really long time since we got a balance patch, so it gives me hope that the balance patch will be more impactful. Like, it's just... I just wanted to do the video because there's a lot of discussion surrounding balance, and I've been playing this game for a really long time. And what gets me excited, honestly, I've said this a bunch during my streams, is like more frequent balance patches. So if whatever, you know, whatever comes out after Janther Wilds or whatever it is, like that's what gets me excited, because I get excited when there's the idea of like a balance patch that doesn't have to just nerf all the spears in the game, right? Stuff like that, where it's a balance patch that is independent of A-Net's weird... we're going to make every boon do everything do every boon agenda or whatever they're trying to do at the current year, you know? I'm super dead here. This is going to be very difficult. Yep. Perma interrupted. Maybe not. Oh, Zerg actually helped me out. Nice. We're trying out rifle because one of my friends is back playing the game, and he's inspired me to like try a lot of different builds. So I was trying like sword mace, rifle, stuff like that. I do think that rifle is just like better version of spear though right now. All of spear's power is in its F1 skill, which got dumpstered and destroyed, and now it doesn't have anything, so is what it is. I think that Moondoggy, I still think we'll get more elite specs, but I think that if we get more elite specs, they'll be like elite specs without weapons, and they will be wholly designed, and they'll be the most broken thing in the game, because, like, what's it called? Sorry, trying to fight thieves and talk is it's an impossible task. Elite specs without weapons gives them a lot more like design potential and whatnot. So it is what it is. I don't really, you know, have an answer other than that. I think it's possible. Mostly because there's like a 9th slot, right? See? Counterplay. That man has spammable stealth. Oh, he also has a banner of whatever the fuck. That's pretty cool. These guys are good. Dig it. Yeah, he's right here. Neat. Play, counterplay. Just like I think there should be something that goes through Reflect on Warrior. Like, the spammable Shield Master crap on Warrior is just as bad as, you know, permanent Mesmer Invuln. Warrior's not an exception to this. It just is what it is. Ooh, that's way too many. Run! Got a couple. Yeah, use the tools you have. Play, counterplay, you know what I mean? I was trying to make, or work on my mark into a build forever. Honestly, what should be here instead of on my mark for Bladesworn is they should have Sight Beyond Sight, which is a great Elfstones reference. for the 8 people out there who have read that book, but also it's an ammunition reveal skill that makes your next attack and has no cast time and is only available to Spellbreaker. Why doesn't Bladesworn have that? It's the perfect Bladesworn utility for PvP. It makes your next like Dragon Trigger crit. You could balance around that. You can use it in Dragon Trigger, and it reveals. It also makes your next attack and ignore blind, which is like what the Grandmaster does. So you wouldn't have to have that on a Grandmaster slot anymore. You could just have that like as a Bladesworn. And then you could make the Grandmaster interesting. Tools are in the game. Zelda level up noise. You know what I mean? It's just weird A-net crap like that. Where's my mouse? Help chat. I've fallen. I can't get up. Okay, we have a mouse again. That's good. We're lagging though. Quite a lot. Computer is lagging, and the controller has died. That was an interesting series of events. You're right, Link doesn't level up. I mean, in one iteration he probably does. I mean, like when you find an item like the na. If it was that easy to get higher, that would be nice. Nice, he's running throw bolas. I love it. Oh, that would be wonderful. What I wanted forever, Coffee Scryer, because I'm a huge Devil May Cry nerd, is Bladesworn to color its dragon slashes based on what Grandmaster you took. So there would also be counterplay there, because then you could like see which dragon slash the Bladesworn was using and counterplay it, right? That's the dream. Is yeah, if it colored your slashes. That'd be amazing. A second and third line of trades? That'd be something. We could definitely put it wherever. But I do want more stuff like the faux fire effect on, or not the faux fire effect, the Doomfire effect on Necromancer. Stuff like that. Like that actually impacts, you know, this is a Condi Necro and stuff like that. Just visual stuff, because it's cool. Cool stuff is cool, right? You've been making legendaries? Awesome, dude. Yeah, I made that video just to help people. Like I said, I knew it was going to pop off. I could have monetized it. Just like, I don't know. I feel bad making money from this crap. If you have subs, you can use them here and you get double entries for our giveaways. Oh, speaking of which, we should probably do another one, but like Prime subs and whatnot. But like, give them to somebody who makes money from this bullshit and needs to pay their bills. I'm in the fortunate position of just like streaming for fun and doing fun, balanced discussions. So I'm glad you guys are enjoying, but we just chill here. Also, side note, I wanted to record a little extra thing today and do a little bit of a longer stream because we're not going to be streaming on Christmas. I'm a little busy. I think you guys are as well. So, barring a miracle, we will not be streaming on Christmas, but we'll be back next week, next Monday as well. Oh man. But I'm glad the video is helping you with legendaries. I did make it just to, and if you have any questions about stuff, please let me know. I do find one tip that I didn't include in that video. Don't worry, we're not closing it out nearly yet, Chad. Long time to go. Is these things, the Black Lion delivery boxes, if you can see it on the stream, that you get from the expedition contract for End of Dragons, super good. Like, excuse me, you get to choose like Echo gassy from the protein, but it's coming out the wrong end, chat. Sorry. You get to choose Echovold Wilds, Dragon's End, or like any of the 4 maps, and you just get like Vrits, aka free stuff, shipped to you. It's like pretty cool. Xmas is another day with more sugar, pretty much. So I was marveling at the fact that like Thanksgiving and Christmas, especially in the United States, are just like, hey, here's a bunch of unhealthy food, and you don't do anything. It's like built to get you to gain weight, so all the people when it comes to January 1st are like, oh, gotta join a gym. No worries, Coffee Scryer. I'm playing a rifle Blade Sworn. I don't expect us to win anything. Oh, you're all the way out there? No, dude. Coming. Hey, Sergio. What's up, dude? Oh, he's being a duelist. He almost killed himself with the Necro Sword there, actually. Did you see that? He was at like 1% health. I want to go. Hello. Am I going to end up fighting this red guy? Oh, he wants to fight the red guy. I'll fight the red guy. Untamed on Reaper violence. This Untamed's pretty good. He's also got a buttload of infusions, so that's first person this chat. Berserker Gunflame. I mean, honestly, if I could design an elite spec, I'd just redesign Bladesworn. Moondoggy, like, I put it up on Reddit a couple months ago because people always ask me like what my I've done a bunch of write-ups on like how to fix Bladesworn. Here's how their balance decisions have like impacted it. Here's what, because it was good at release and then they've just made all these changes to like cut it away and it's a death by 1,000 cuts thing. So I'd either revert Bladesworn if I was going to design an elite spec or just do the rework that I proposed where the bullets on your bar, I'm pointing like you can see them, but I assume you have eyes and you're looking at the game. The bullets do something and they function like initiative. And then instead of having charges on your gun saber, the charges take bullets. But since they're persisting, you can do like sick Devil May Cry combos, and it uses the thief tech to flip over your skills into successive chains that you need to build up bullets in order to complete a chain attack with the gun saber. But if you have like a 3-hit chain with the gun saber that uses 3 bullets, the last hit gets stronger depending on what button you push, just like the thief spear tech. So I don't know, that's probably what I would do. Just like make the buttons do a lot less damage and like make them cool. Like Warrior, it seems to have this idea that Warrior is simple and it's not. Like even on Berserker and Spellbreaker, the systems that interact on it are actually incredibly complicated, especially because it doesn't just have forced movement where you just teleport to a dude and do a billion damage like Worldbender and Mesmer and stuff. So you have to have this really intricate understanding of the class to play it. And it's also why you don't see any Warriors anymore. Like, I was watching my friend who's getting, like I said, back into the game, and even over on his server, he was streaming the other night, and he saw, even including Spellbreaker and Berserker, he saw 2 people playing Warrior. The rest were on literally every other class in World vs. World, because it's not interesting. So if you make Bladesworn interesting, people will play it. It doesn't matter if it's good. It helps, but it doesn't matter. If it's fun, no one cares. It's the Pacific Rim thing that Guillermo del Toro said. If it's cool, no one's going to give a shit, right? Does Mesmer want to fight? Gunflame Berserker had potential, but they took all the burning off Gunflame, and now I don't care. Would you like to fight? Oh yeah, we're getting duels. We're getting duels. It's happening. It's happening. They don't have bow capacity. It's happening. I tab targeted past the Mesmer. Oh my god. The tab targeting in this game also, like, I don't know what it is these days. It just sucks. Like, it's real bad. Oh my god, I'm so dead. Oh my god, that was really good on his part. I'm so fucking dead. That was so good. Oh my god. This guy's a god. Actual Jesus. Actual Jesus Mesmer. Guy is very, very good at the video game chat. I don't know if I have the pressure to deal with this. Do I have weakness on me? I do. Sick. What's your second weapon, Brosif? Scepter? Scepter's good. Scepter's hit scan. Scepter is hit scan damage. It's a lot of dodges this guy has. Also a lot of sustain, honestly, for a Mesmer. Really dig it. He has infinity clone generation too. Jesus. I won't be a baby. Don't worry. Tab targeting is killing me, man. It's literally killing me. Mashing tab, not going to the Mesmer. As God intended. Yep, fair enough. He's got a lot of stuff that like breaks targeting and whatnot. That was good. That was good. I liked it. No, I really hope they don't do new weapons. That was sick. Would you like to go again? Okay. It would. I gotta get better with a rifle, which is a weird sentence as well. Nice. That is so much, so much. That was great. That was great. Sorry, you were in range of the tower. I didn't realize that. My bad. Fight over here. Jesus, dude. So much. So much Condi. I think the answer is kill his clones before he can summon a million of them. He just always has clones. No, it's too much. It's too much Condi. That's great. I love his build. It's really good. No, good job, Mesmer, dude. We're playing some memes. We're getting destroyed. It's good. I dig it. The one weakness of all my Bladesworn builds is they don't have a lot of Condi cleanse because it's not built into the kit. So, is what it is. He's won that matchup. You're not supposed to kill everything, chat. It's good. No, I really hope we're done with weapons and they can just, like, actually do interesting stuff with the elite specs and the weapons that we already have. Would you like to fight? He would not like to fight. He would like to catch up with the Zerg. Harbinger bro, would you like to fight? That's like my Mesmer build right there. The thing was crazy. I love it. I kind of love it. Like I said, I've played a metric buttload of Mirage. Ooh, we lagging now, chat. We got more giveaways to do, and we don't own this tower anymore, and by tower I mean castle. So let's think of a word. In honor of that Mirage, let's do exclamation point Mirage in chat, and that'll be for another 25 gold, because that guy's build slapped. We're just trying stuff. We're in the stage of let's just try stuff for Guild Wars 2. Oh, Coffee Scryer's getting destroyed. Coffee Scryer's trying stuff. I can't res you. I think you're already dead. Yeah, you're already dead. Alright, let's see if we can get away with a rifle. From like 8 people. That's rude. I mean, it's fair, but it's rude. I just think that a lot of classes are left without an identity, kind of like you guys have been talking about, whether it's class or a weapon or whatever it is. Because Greatsword on Warrior sucks. Which is weird, but it does. But you gotta nerf stuff before you make stuff better, so hopefully they have some design space. Yeah, you gotta be followed on Twitch or just exist on YouTube. Exclamation point Mirage in chat. We'll do that drawing in about 10 minutes for another 25 gold. Give away a bunch of these because it's winter holidays. And switch it up to the other build here. That's the wrong one. Is it not? It's not. Okay, I'm just in the wrong weapon. So originally, most of this was from a greatsword build. Like I said, I've been trying like every weapon lately. See how they're all doing. It's good to check in. But no joke, I would rather have a rifle than a spear right now in Warrior. Spear's awful. It does no damage and it doesn't do anything else. The like weird internal spear thing where it just sort of gets more damage when you're targeting the first thing just means that they have to make the numbers worse. Hello. Okay. We'll try the rifle build again. Hang on. Ow. That's I'm in combat now. Ow. Sir. I would like to get out of combat so I can switch to the build to fight you. There we go. We did it, chat. Oh my god. Hold, please. Okay, good. Bow. Alright. Yep, there it is. Alright. Fucking peace, dude. Can't fight that, chat. Like this guy's hard build. It's pretty good. Pulsing blind. Cool. Add heal skill though. It's a long duration fucking stab, sir. Does he just always have Ghost Walk up? Jesus. And I'm always blinded, I guess. I tried to interrupt that. I did. Dragon Trigger casually not doing any damage. Hey, we won one. Sick. Opening up elite weapons made Boon Chrono way more fun to play. I mean, that's fair. Chrono was kind of shield, but also, like, giving shield to Virtuoso and Mirage was, like, giga stupid. It was probably the strongest, like, shared weapon, and it makes them both a nightmare to fight. Hello. Would you like to go again? What are we doing? I like the idea of the catapults, even though they're kind of cheating, is like going on around us. There's no way he can have a stun break, right? It can give me this like pulse and corrupt well thing. I don't even know what that does, or what that is. Nice. Beautiful. Love to see it. Please go over there. Thank you. Don't know why this catapult's being a jerk. It's kind of fun, though. Ooh, missed the rifle butt. No, I've never really played with rifle. It's alright. I mean, people give it a bunch of crap. This is a good setup. No, he's got me, he's got me, he's got me. That was great. I like the catapult's just like trying to hit him or something. Alright, 1-1. Spectral Walk is 20 seconds. Holy crap, it's less than that then with Alacrity. That's insane. That's like the best stun break in the game then. Holy crap, Spectral Walk's a good button. I mean, I can't really talk because we have Shake It Off, I just don't run it, but like... I gotta try a different build here. We gotta try Steph chat. Sure, we can go over there. Yeah, I'll come with you. I agree. There's kind of a... Oh, I'm being attacked. Hi. He told them. Alright, red. Ow. It is so much immobilized now, man. Oh, the Deadeye wants blood. They're mad or something. I think there's so much potential with this game. Is the Deadeye gonna leave? What's going on here, man? Being shot by archers. No Connie cleanse. Okay. That didn't work. Fair enough. Yeah, greatsword sucks. It's so weird that like rifle is one of Warrior's like better weapons. Very strange. Very, very strange. We'll figure it out. Gotta just play what's fun, right? I'll do one more. Actually, two more, because I am a 3 out of 5. Oppressive collapse is oppressive, Jesus. Christ. This is so good. Man knows his buttons. Nice. Let me sit down. I pressed my evade. The game did not care. Nah, that's fair. He's won. He got his 3 out of 5. No, it was good. I am happy for him. Warrior weapons are so boring, dude. I just gotta get good with like the rifle build with like my spacing and stuff. I am done. He wins. You wanna fight? Oh, the Dedo wants to fight. Sick. Everybody's Condi on this team. Jesus. Are you gonna stealth ever? Okay. That is a new player. Now I feel bad. Trying pistol, Deadeye. Well, thank you for the duels. Either way. Figure it out. It is a little bit rough because you don't get warrior sprint when you have the rifle out, and he was just corrupting all of my boons, so I just didn't have movement speed. So we'll have to maybe address that in the build somewhere. Maybe take surging runes. Are there any weapons on other classes that are just like bad? Because I was trying to think, and I think some of the NG ones, like pistols, are kind of mediocre on NG. I mean, they have their place in PvE, right? But these days it's just like mace, you know? So. There's a couple thief weapons that, I mean, I see staff used, I see lots of sword used. I see lots of axe. NG shortbow kind of sucks. Pistol on Ellie kind of sucks. I still maintain spear on Ellie's pretty good, but like, it's not a survival weapon, so. If you wanted it to be, it's definitely not. NG shortbow's busted. Okay, okay. Is it busted because it's unblockable, Dream? I know Sea Monster has a friend who was running it with like a mechanist build in PvP, and he was having a lot of success with that, so respect to him for trying like weird crap like I do. Again, like if you can make it work, you can make it work. I don't see a ton of Mace Untamed, even World vs. World or Mace Ranger. Just mostly because Ranger's original weapons, and having helped my friend like get up to speed who plays a bunch of Ranger, and also theory crafting on Druid recently, I've realized this. Ranger's original weapons are like really well designed. They're really good. Even like, what's it called? The rework to sword that they did. Alright, this is happening. We're fighting for the century. Ouch. Untamed, so I don't get projectiles, chat. Oh, he's using spear. He's using spear. I won't be able to say Ranger spear sucks. These evades are coming out hella late, but I get it. That auto tracks, which is really interesting. Like when they go into stealth. Oh. No. Dueling. Dueling. Stop. Jarvan Mind Flayer. Oh well, only so much you can do. Warhorn and Nelly? Warhorn and Nelly doesn't suck in PvE though. It's gotta use. I'm talking about like weapons that just like don't see use anywhere. You know what I mean? To me, I would have said, you know, Warrior Rifle, but Warrior Rifle is not, it's kind of better than, what's it called? Spear right now, so. Is what it is, I suppose. This guy's like ultra not letting this poor Untamed live. Well, Untamed, kick his ass. Some people say I play World vs. World in a weird way, I don't know. I try to respect the duels. This Mesmer's playing like a bitch. Dude, just fight him. Don't sit by the tower, just like fight him. Oh my god, we're like surrounding him. I'm gonna let this poor Untamed live his life. Run away with my boat rifle. Had enough. Had enough bullying. Hopefully he lives. Seems pretty good, he'll probably live. Is there like a crazy queue? Oh my god, there is. Where's our team? Where's the Zerg? My computer lagging? What the heck? Like a little bit. It's kind of odd. And close some stuff. Chat, exclamation point, Mirage in chat. You have 1 minute. Gotta be followed on Twitch or just exist on YouTube. And if you missed this giveaway, don't worry, we'll do another one. Kinda spaced out and was having fun fighting people. You're 6? Alright. So we'll get some friendos. Oh, this is not our SMC. I kind of knew that in somewhere in my mind. Oops. I don't know. There's a couple weapons that just like, what is that? It's a char with a backpack. It's kind of a couple weapons that just kind of suck. Not a lot. Daggers on Soul Beast don't see much use, but I think it does in PvE, so. I think there's a dagger Untamed Bird build or something. Alright, 1 minute, we'll do this drawing. Get this going. Got some entries. This is good, this is good. Thank you, Variety. Thank you, Jan. Appreciate it. Running around with the weight of the world food. People are like, what the fuck is that? Again, this is the thing where like people just don't know, you know? I gotta make that video sooner than later. That's why I can't do Christmas things. Alright. 3, 2, 1, click the button. Jan, you have won. Congrats, dog. Character name or an account name, if you please, whenever you can. I will send you 25 gold. Thank you, thank you. One of our regulars. I'm glad my bot doesn't just choose new people anymore. It was weird. I'll forgive A-Net if they give Warrior main hand pistol, I guess, and it doesn't suck nuts. And take away when weird bullets from this thing that don't ever hit anything and do damage. You're in a party. That's fine. You can just whisper Salem. S-A-L-E-M. Coffee, did you get in? You're in a party. You're not Coffee Scryer. Are you Coffee Scryer? Jan, are you Coffee Scryer? Say something. I think you might be. And send Coffee Scryer money for no reason. Can't remember everyone's alts and alt aliases and alias alts. Okay, yeah, we did it. My bad, Aliha. Alright, cool, sick. Nice little holiday giveaway going. Sick. Sent off. We'll do another giveaway in a little bit. And keep this going. Also, PSA, go enter Guild Wars 2 Efficiencies giveaway. Because it's got, like, chalk XX and stuff. Oh, no. You're fine. Don't worry about it. This guy's asking about the food. You made it! We're good. We're good. We're good. Guy's asking about it. That's so funny. Yeah, I gotta make that video. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, this food, sorry, can't talk, is from End of Dragons chapter 12. People have asked me about it and stuff. I'm making a video on it, but there's lots of like OP world versus world foods and stuff. This guy, the Untamed, was like asking me about it and stuff, sorry. I had a heart attack. You're on Ellie with a pistol. I love it. It's like, there's no way someone who's not from my stream is running pistol. So, that's how I knew it was Like, some nut job. That's amazing coffee. Yeah, find some combat now. Oh my god. You know, we could actually round out the stream by just recording the food thing. I don't know how bored that would make people. It's really up to you guys. With like a little sneak preview of the top 7 OP foods in World vs. World. We could do that. This is a thief. Does it want to fight us? It does not want to fight us. Let's catch up with the Zerg since we're like together now. There's no Zerg on the map, of course. Okay. How is this cute with no Zerg on the map? Oh my god. What do we do? What are we even doing? Also, chat, I learned that, at least on Desert, you can see this. I guess they don't do it on EBG. The cracks on the walls indicate where you can break stuff. I didn't know that. Isn't that nuts? I guess it's not on that keep, too. It's only on this one. They should do that more. I never knew that, though. I'm not loving rifle is the problem. Like, it's not bad, but it's just not what I love. Yeah, if someone asks me about stuff in World vs. World, I'm gonna tell them, even if it's OP food like that, because gatekeeping is dumb. If I have access to a food, everybody should have access to it. It's like the legendary thing, chat. I made that video to help people out, and if I have, you know, the magic sauce to make a bunch of money in Guild Wars 2, I think everybody should, so that's what we're about here. Gatekeeping is very, very silly in video games, in my opinion. Let's go take some stuff. And go, north or south. We could take this tier 2 camp, or we could try for that tier 1 camp. What'd you target? Something in there? I also just don't like how you hold a rifle as a warrior, and I don't like how you hold a... What's it called? Brain spear. As any kind of ranged weapon. The frosty ground thing speeds your movement up. Good to know. I don't know if that stacks with swiftness, but it might. Does it say if it stacks with swiftness, Coffee Scryer? The pistol 2, I think. Well, I had the Warclaw's blessing, so who knows? In my opinion, I think that Greatsword should be the cleave weapon. Is this build good for a new player? No. Never play a Bladesworn build as a new player. Bladesworn is awful. I love it. Like, again, 8 out of 10 class design, 0 out of 10, or 2 out of 10 execution. Wait for them to buff it or make it good. It is almost the opposite of what you should play as a new player. If you want something to play as a new player, check out my YouTube channel. And there's lots of like intro builds on like Thief and stuff, like Auto Attack Thief, Auto Attack Guardian. I can actually link a couple of those. Are you looking to get into World vs. World, Ponxiri, or are you looking to like get into PvP, or what like game modes do you play as well? That'll help me. Help me gauge what you're looking for. Definitely find you a video or two. Also, sorry, my internet has been like crashing all the time. It's amazing. I pay them $75 a month, and they don't have competent service. It is what it is, though. But I have played this game for like 11 years, so if you have any questions about how Guild Wars 2 in general, please feel free to ask them here. My community is extremely chill, and I would love to help you out. But if you check out that video, that is a very beginner-friendly build for PvE, which is generally what you'll be playing as a new player, and you can play it without any expansions, which is pretty cool. Need some more hype music here. Not this one. Yeah, the one that starts with Vegeta giggling. Alright. This never works whenever we try this Coffee Scryer, but it's going to work today. Don't look at all of the other times we've tried this as an example. Alright? It's going to work. It's going to work, chat. Shut up. It's going to work. This is happening. Nah, it'll be fine. You won't die. Just run away. I'll fight them. Totally okay if you bail on me. Oop, that one's done. Tier 3 tower, 2 of us taking it. What could go wrong? I think I enjoy ARMS builds more. They're not good, though. Yep. Already. Duck into the camp if you can. Nope. Fair enough. That's a Harbinger. Is it a good Harbinger? It's a different Harbinger. Also probably pretty good. I did detarget him, but it detargeted it targeted somebody else. Which is amazing. I think I need to lean into warriors, just fact that they have like 4 stances that make you invulnerable, and go full glass other than that. Just be a bucket of awful to fight. It's alright, put up a fight. I'm gonna switch the sword mace version since it's on the thumbnail, and I should theoretically be playing it a little bit as well. I do like this version. It does run ARMS. Different food. Requires different food. Very expensive food. Different food. There we go. I hate when ArenaNet goes, you can only play this one thing this way, you know what I mean? And Stance Warrior has been, and probably what will be forever, the only thing that's viable. And I kind of hate it, honestly, but it is what it is. But yeah, the bricks chunk, so see if we can show that off a little bit. I'll try to remember to put this version in the description as well. Ooh, we have SMC. Shout Warrior did, but it's not very good anymore. Like, shouts in general just don't... I mean, compared to what they used to do, they do a lot, but in general, they don't do very much, so... You don't get a ton of value other than burst healing out of the shout trait. Because you can't reload them anymore, and you honestly never should have been able to reload them with tactical reload, so... Even in PvE, you don't take shouts as a support, so it's kind of like, what are we doing with those skills? I don't know. Like I said, ArenaNet, if they want to look at individual class balance or individual class functionality tune-ups, they need to figure out what things like Bladesworn or Untamed or Daredevil or Deadeye should be for in various game modes, and give them various ways to play like that. Or they can just like give them interesting traits to begin with. I'm hugely down for that. Let's get some more, what's it called? Divide going. The movement speed is too... Ooh, a catapult. But as you can see, Mesas kind of chunk. They really do. Like that was what, 4-6 hits? You know, 4,000, 6,000? Stacks might on you, stacks Vuln on the catapult. Pretty good. Just saying. It's not very interesting and you're never going to hit anything, and even my sword too didn't hit anything there. Oh, this class is a bucket of wet cats. I wonder if they do make Guild Wars 3, and if it, God forbid, uses the same engine. Like, hopefully it doesn't, but if they make Guild Wars 3 and it's anything like Guild Wars 2, I wonder if they're going to have, Yep, Sergio just logged out. If they're going to have, forced movement at all, because everyone seems to hate it. Whether it's Warrior or Ranger or Mesmer or anything, I wonder if everything will just be various forms of jump to target. Like, Sun Force movement's really good. Bull's Charge makes sense. It has an evade on it. It's really good. This Whirlwind attack, really good. Old Dragon Trigger before they added a unplayable delay to it, really good. Sword 2, really good. And everything else on Warrior sucks. Yeah, it's also really weird to me that they... Like, Thief Axe is cool, but Thief definitely should have gotten, like, Axe, and the offhand Axe should synergize really well with Scepter and give you a dual skill as a support. You know what I mean? They had every opportunity to make that one skill or that one series of skills, like, really supporty, and they just didn't give you another Axe because, I don't know, fuck it. We're too busy making 46 skills for Elementalist Pistol. It's weird decisions like that that's just like, okay, you don't play this class, right? Like, it's clearly like a, you didn't want to make a second offhand weapon for Thief. It's not a, you couldn't, it's, you didn't. And again, I don't have any interest in Thief. I'm a Warrior, you know, critic and Mesmer critic. Like, hire somebody that does, you know, if you want to be a real company. Just a thought. Anything that's a dodge backwards. They have a lot of those, though, and I do think Lightning Reflex is a good skill, and Old Dragon Spike Mine was a good skill. They just didn't update it, made it a PvE skill. Shrug. Chocolate, chat. Remember to hydrate. Let's do our last, or at least get our last giveaway going. So, what can we do? Holidays. Exclamation point Winter's Day. All one word in chat. You got to be followed on Twitch or just exist on YouTube, and that'll be for another 25 gold. As a matter of fact, I'll do 2 drawings for it since it's the holidays and whatnot. Right, exactly. Spectre is another example of something that's barely functional in PvE. It's not very good as a support, but it's like Warrior where you can do it. And it's basically useless everywhere else. And again, this is not for lack of trying. They've reworked Spectre at least 3 different times. But the problem is, I don't know, they're afraid to overload. They're afraid to overload it with like stuff, or their balance cadence just sucks. And they've admitted their balance cadence sucks. So maybe work around your balance cadence sucking. I don't know, maybe I'm cynical because I don't like the holidays or whatever, but I'm just cold in New York. But I feel like this is decent feedback, you know? It's okay to be critical of something when you're giving feedback that's actionable and constructive. This Willbender's going in, by the way. I respect it. I do. I respect that guy. Throw a boulder at him, chat. I think that did like 900 damage. That was weird. Those aren't supposed to do damage. At least the lag cleared up from earlier. I say now before I lag to shit. Pulse charge, still one of the best buttons in the game. It's very good. Yeah, fun fact about the Staff 3 silhouette. Also, what's up, guys? Exclamation point Winter's Day in chat if you'd like to enter. I saw your most recent video, Silhouette. I liked it. That's a point I wanted to make a lot, but again, I have no time to edit videos. Yeah, the Staff 3 is the worst button in the game, even though they could put the cancel button from Helio Rush on it. It's forced movement in a direction, like the Greatsword 5 is. I put my controller down, so I'm assuming I got dazed by a thief. And you can't cancel it. You can't weapon stow it. The only thing you can do is weapon swap if it's up. It's awful. It's awful, 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 awful. I hate it. I wish it had the old movement on it. I'm not joking. I'm glad you're trying Warrior, though. I don't know why I'm glad, but shared suffering, maybe? You see what I mean? Like, the things on Warrior that are good are really good. And the things on Warrior that suck really suck. So, it is what it is. Also, ArenaNet, because I know you listen to these, please, dear God, and this is something that my friend actually echoed coming back to the game, there is no reason that this game can't have a dedicated detarget button. And I'm not talking about an escape button. I'm talking about if I target this, or this guy, or this gate, or an enemy, if I press escape, it doesn't bring up my menu. It just detargets. So if I have nothing targeted, and I press the button like that, it just detargets, and it doesn't bring up a fucking menu that I then teleport into. Please, God, please. This game is so good. This game is so good for control options. Look at this. Where is my dedicated detarget button? Oh my God. If you're going to put this much forced movement in your game, please play it enough to know that that's an issue, whether you're a willbender or a warrior or a willbender or a ranger or a willbender. Oh my God. Anyway, exclamation point Winter's Day in chat. I don't even know what we're talking about. I'll get that drawing done in like 10 minutes. This Spellbreaker's going in, dude. I'm gonna respect. 25 might Spellbreaker. He's living the dream. Trying out Warrior. Where's my Warrior video then, huh, man? Here's my, here's the best Warrior builds to play. Alright, now we go in. He's playing Stance Spellbreaker. Living the life. I'm just kidding, man. Glad you're enjoying the holidays. Ah, it chunks. Mace 4 chunks. It chunks so hard, chat. You'll never hit it on anything that, like, matters, but it chunks. Warrior's even running battle standard. It's too good. I think this is the guy that asked me about the food, so I feel a little bad. Because this is very much not an even fight. He's got all the stealth, though, for an Untamed. This guy's trying to peel for his friend. The target button would have been useful there. I like that this red team tends to peel for each other. I want to fight this guy. Like 1v1 him. His dead turtle catching up there. Oh my god. Yeah, you gotta be followed on Twitch or just exist on YouTube, but thank you guys. I want to fight him. I want to do this. Let's go. See if we can make good. Nobody is good on Warrior. Oh, come on, fight me. Come over here. God damn it. He's going back in. He's clearly, like, asking about food, too, because he's already running Karka potions. That Warrior's gone. This is what I mean that Spellbreaker is hamster. Oh, that's Haiti. This guy is, like, holding, Spellbreaker is holding Warrior balance back, just like Stealth is holding Thief balance back. 'Tis very much a thing. Wow, that is such a good button. My god. So good. Buttons are so good on Necro, dude. Living the life, making it work. Look at this horde of people chasing this one poor red guy that, to be fair, knows what he's doing. Switch to Berserker? Interesting. Here's that rage. Rampage stance. He's living it, dude. Very good player. But Bladesworn works underwater, chat. Here's the thing. Where'd he go? I don't know the cave. He's got the movement speed of a god. He's trucking. You can't share links. You can on Twitch. Look at him living the life. Did he switch to Bladesworn somehow? He was in combat. That doesn't make any sense. Huh. Is he like speed hacking? Warrior doesn't move that fast. Maybe he's running speed runes because he has perma swiftness. Ah, sick. I must have missed it. I'm sorry, dude. This is my fault. Nah, if he was speed hacking, he'd be like in space. Yeah, he's definitely running speed runes. Or speed relic. Tactical reload, endure pain, so that's defense. There's some Banner of Tactics. I like this guy's build. It's very cool. Most mobile Bladesworn ever. No, it's not Relic of the Wayfinder. He's running Speed Relic, which basically gives you super speed. That's what I used to do. I just got bored of it. I like trying new stuff. If links don't work there, I don't know. But I'll tell you what, if links don't work there, I'll find your video and put it in my Twitch. How about that? I don't know how he got out of combat to switch to Bladesworn, but he did. I also like that his Bladesworn build is like his mobility build. Yeah, there you go. I have it disabled on YouTube because of all the spam porn bots. I don't know what they get out of it, but it's like weird. We've had this discussion at work a lot recently, not specifically about spam porn bots, but just like out of comment bots in general. I have no idea what people get out of, like, other than just scam, you know, give your information to people, like, they get out of that crap, where it's like put in all your information and then, like, you know, the thing steals your identity. It's very weird. But there's a lot of them on YouTube. It's getting better, though. But yeah, check out Silhouette's video. I'll have to bookmark that and write this down for afterward. We gotta do our drawing, chat. Give away some money. Exclamation point Winners Day. You have 1 minute while I get all the entries and make sure people are have all of their buttons pressed. Yeah, I know it's for PvE. I wouldn't imagine any warrior build is good for PvP right now other than Spellbreaker. They refuse to give me interesting things. Yeah, this is Silhouette. Check him out. Very, very cool dude. Also been playing the game forever. Mostly PvE stuff, but it's a good contrast to what you get here, which is complaining about Warrior and nothing else except World vs. World roaming. Occasionally. So. Got all the entries. Remedy in there. Variety in there. Moondoggy in there. Alright. Pseudo watched this video. Well, now I have to watch it. 3, 2, 1. And this is for 2 drawings of 25 gold. Variety Top Gamers and K-Moondoggy, you guys have won. Congrats. Give me a character name or an account name before the end of the stream, and I will shoot you 25 gold. I am glad the farming videos are helping. I am actually... Don't spoil it. I'm curious what your support build is. You can also whisper Salem, S-A-L-E-M, all one word, if you would like something a little bit easier. We're going to switch to the last build, which I was having the most fun with. I don't think it's the best, but definitely having the most fun with this. Yeah, no worries, no rush. Respect to Haiti for running Banner of Tactics. I was trying that for a while, and I don't enjoy it, but it's a very good banner. Especially if you can trick people into fighting in it, because it, with any kind of boon duration, it basically gives you permanent resistance, this thing. Because it pulses, gives you swiftness, super speed, resistance, stab, and then like pulses resistance. See? It's a very good button, but it's not a very fun button. I think that's tactics. Could be wrong. Yes. Once upon a time it was the worst banner, and now it's kind of the best banner. The thing with the PvP dailies are they're very fast, Silhouette. Which is why I tell people to do them. Like, even if you PvE or do World vs. World, and I almost think, you know, again, little bit of a tinfoil hat on, I think that ANET made the PvP dailies really easy, really intentionally, to sort of get people in just playing the game mode. Like, hey, you know, if you want to just bang it out, get it done, it's very easy that way, you know? Yeah, no worries, guys. Again, it's very chill here, so feel free if you're just trying stuff, or if you have any questions about the game, or anything in general, really. Either my guild, or myself, or Silhouette can definitely, or the chat can definitely, answer those. Yeah, it just takes more time, and as a, you know, as a person of 30 or 40 years old at this point, time is not a luxury I have. I gotta procrastinate making YouTube videos, you know? It's very important, you see. Gotta procrastinate editing down all that footage I have of you and Emmy. It's gonna be good. Just roll it all into one video, throw it up on the channel for like 10 hours and call it a day. Oh yeah, it's like one match, and even if it's not one match, it's like 1.5 matches. Because sometimes the only daily that is even any kind of brain effort, great name, only daily that's any kind of brain effort is like top stat, and you get that by basically existing in PvP. I actually I wanted to contribute something, but I didn't think it would be very tactful, I guess is the word, to your Guild Wars 2 is bad video, and that was, we talked about it earlier, and I'm gonna edit it down into a video. In my opinion, like, Guild Wars 2 is amazing, it obviously is, and we both love it, but if there's one thing that I personally would like, it's more frequent balance patches, you know? So, I don't know if there's a way or a place for that in your video, but that's something that really irks me, because they have all these lofty goals, like making everything viable in PvE, and homogenizing all the boons, or whatever it is, but, you know, their balance cadence just does not afford for that, i.e. Virtuoso or whatever, you know what I mean? Like Virtuoso just being king shit of fuck mountain forever, or... That's already there? Yeah. Well, Cal Cohan himself, like 3 streams in a row, back when they were just streaming World vs. World and shooting the shit and answering questions, he and, forget the other div, the guy with the beard who shaved on Extra Life, he's really cool. He said he would like to have balance patches at least every 2 weeks, or at least every 3 weeks, but they're no one, you know, most people don't even notice when there's a balance patch, dude, even if it's PvE, let alone like World vs. World and PvP changes. Like, no one knows what Daring Dragon is. No one knows hardly what a, you know, a Tempest is in this game. No one knows what this floating lightning ball by Coffee Scryer is, right? Like, what's that? Is that a weapon thing? Is that an enhancement? Is that a boon? Like, most people that play this game do not care, so they don't do it, but I would love that. And my second piece of criticism, or my second comment that I would love, is when you buy gems, and I've said this before, I want a box right here when it takes your credit card information. Right there. I'm pointing at my screen like you can see it right there. It gives you 4 more characters, I guess, the more gems you buy, or something stupid, but that's jokes aside, like 200 characters where my development money goes. Even if they don't read it, even if it doesn't go there, it would make me feel like I'm contributing to something instead of just buying a hat. I don't know. That's a personal gripe, though. This Reaper wants to fight. Hell yeah. We'll try the rifle build against a Reaper, because if it doesn't beat a Reaper, then I don't know what. We're trying out rifle. It's bad. Shut up. I know. Ow. Fleshworm's like stripping my Aegis. It's pretty good. Ah, we both got immobilized by the O-Cart. That's pretty funny. I think most of my shit pierces on rifle, actually, weirdly. He's also running speed relic, by the way. It's a pretty good relic, it turns out, having permanent super speed. I can get away from this thing. It's insane to me having any kind of range on Warrior. Even if it's somewhat detracted from... I like the idea that I've been dueling these two Necros, like the Harbinger as well, while like other crap in the war has been going on. You know, like this O-Cart, and there was a catapult before. It's kind of fun. The O-Cart's gonna die eventually, just by product of our duel. It's also pretty fun. Cheating. I like it. Okay, this thing needs to die. This thing is bullying. I like that everyone's just like watching the duel. Yep, I think I got the alacrity, but I'm also chilled. Nope, I didn't get the alacrity because my class sucks and God hates me. No, this is not... Oh my god. I need to go to Dueling Island, dude. Tragic, truly. Oh, did they end up killing him? Alright, good. Oh, now my allies are jumping in. Oh, well. It's impossible to have a duel in World vs. World. That's fair, and we are kind of fighting out in the open. I hope he lives, though. And yeah, Silhouette said, you can't really monetize a balance patch other than putting cool hats. But I mean, the best I do, Silhouette, is when there's a balance patch I like, I try to buy some hats. And I try to, like, you know, if there isn't just a sale going, I try to, like, do my purchases based on balance patches that I like. You know? Stuff like that. But that's just about as close to voting with your wallet as I think you can get. I should have been over here in, like, Dueling Island. That's my fault. I'm not liking Rifle, though. It's good. Like, it's better than Spear, honestly, but it's not, like, super amazing. Coffee Scryer's going in. He's fighting him what looks to be an aura written in stone catalyst. Yeah, that catalyst is going to have all the auras. That is a absolute written in stone catalyst with the Earth Grandmaster. Written in stone's a fun trait. I'm glad it's in the game. I'm not glad catalyst is in the game, but you know, whatever. We'll switch it up. Savage Lobo wants to fight. I will bow. I will bow. Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, we both probably have enough gold to never buy stuff again. I'm gonna be mean. I had to do it, chat. You don't understand. I had to. See if he comes back. Battle Pass fee is good, though. You don't like written instructions? Trade does need more powerful options there. I mean, they fixed it in PvE, is the thing, Coffee Scryer. Written in stone is balanced in PvE because they changed the duration of the auras. So they're not all just like 4 seconds, but they didn't change them in World vs. World, so they're all insane. But again, a World vs. World is like kind of allowed to be insane, right? a good setup. It was a good setup. And knows his buttons. That's a Spectre. Alright. Do I have weakness on me? I do. Perma weakness, in fact. Turns out weakness is like pretty good, chat. I'm not going to be able to damage this thing. I'm going to lose this. This thing is immortal. I thought I had a decent amount of resistance on this build, too. He just has more. See, that time, that is the one time, possibly in history, that Dragon Trigger shouldn't have moved me because I was actually immobilized there. That should be the counterplay, and that is perfectly fair. Guy has so much stab, dude. This is also a very boring duel. Yeah, Catalyst is nuts. But it's funny to me that, like, Catalyst is nuts and everyone was complaining about Willbender and they changed nothing and now Catalyst is nuts, you know what I mean? Just because everyone was playing Willbender and it, like, counters that. It's funny how the meta of games will change after they've changed literally nothing, even in games that, like, exist for hundreds of thousands of years. Like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and stuff. Also, free plug for Maximilian Dude's mod for that. I know he's an enormous streamer and I'm tiny, but they put in a crap load of work and y'all should check it out. It's very cool. I'm bad at fighting games and too stupid for them, but it's extremely neat. Yep, nice immobilized there. Good duration on it. I'm never going to be able to do enough damage to kill this guy, though. There is no way. Most of the time I spend is just running away and dodging his crap. Be interested if he can do... I mean, eventually he'll get one of the, like, one time the Condis will kill me, which is what usually happens when I fight Catalysts. Like, the 2 burning stacks there and stuff. Just be enough eventually to kill me, take me down. Yeah, it turns out having permanent stability silhouette is, like, pretty good in whatever game mode. Okay, I'm done with this. He wins. He wins. This is boring. Ow. This is Dueling Island, man. I concede that he won, though. Wonder what sleep. We need, like, more emote translation. We need, like, an emote translation chart. Thank you for the duel, though, Catalyst, bro. Yeah, Catalyst is nuts. But this is what I'm talking about. Like, even if you build Glassy, you're not going to do any damage because of the stacking damage reduction modifiers. This is why I would really love... Well, don't play Warrior, then. Jesus. But jokes aside, like, this is where I would really love 1 week in World vs. World where the balance literally took your PvP amulet. You know what I mean? Like, that would be amazing. That would be so good. Like, it just truly see what's the problem and what's not with World vs. World, you know? Because some of this stuff is, like, so overpowered in World vs. World, but again, they don't balance based on roaming, so it's like, whatever. I get it. It's not really a problem in actual PvP. What are you enjoying in PvP, though, Silhouette? Are you enjoying Warrior? Because if so, absolutely play it. Like, I meme on it a lot, but if you're enjoying something, play it. Whether it's Bladesworn or whatever this is that jumped on me or whatever, you know? I wouldn't do a Coffee Scryer. There's a few of them. Battle Royale would actually fit Guild Wars 2 really well, but they would have to do something about stealth, because the problem with the Battle Royale and stealth is people just hide. But again, if they just try stuff like push, I'm totally fine with that. I've been whether it's balance or game modes or whatever, I've been a huge fan of ArenaNet just like doing stuff. Like, fuck it, let's just try stuff. What I'm not a fan of is when they fuck it try stuff like Blood Bank, the trade on Necromancer, and then never address it again. Because then the stuff that they try is just a problem. So, is what it is. Yeah, I'll definitely have to watch that later. Oh my god, chat. I don't know. ArenaNet has, like, this game has infinite potential. It's really, really good. It's just, they need to, I don't know, play their game a little bit more. Figure out what's a priority and what's not. Figure out what people enjoy about it and what they don't. And the only way you do that is by interacting with the community and playing the game. And to be fair, that's really hard, because a lot of feedback is really bad. Mine included. Probably a lot of mine's really bad. Got him. That's all that matters. Thought I would rally. Didn't rally. Oops. That was worth it, though. Ah, I can't waypoint. There we go. Okay, so I'm assuming you're playing Spear Staff Spellbreaker? I mean, maybe if you complain about the Staff 3 not being uncancelable, it'll get fixed. Lord knows they don't listen to me ever. Also, Silhouette... Oh, it just expired. Silhouette, do you know about the broken raid food? I mean... Jan, a.k.a. Jan Aliha, a.k.a. Coffee Scryer, a.k.a. person in my party. That's not a bad idea. Beta test characters for the upcoming releases. Like, that's a very real thing they could do. You know, games like WoW have player test realms or PTRs. And that's something that people have wanted in this game for a really long time. And I know exists from people I've talked to. So they might be able to do that. And I'm glad they at least give us beta test characters, but I don't... For better or worse, and this is not an ArenaNet problem, this is a problem just with people in general, whether you're a neurosurgeon or a politician or ArenaNet or a grocery store worker or whatever it is, people think that they're right. Myself included. And a lot of the time, people are not right or don't have the whole picture. And it's very, very difficult as a human to do a bunch of work on something, have somebody tell you, even in a constructive way, that Bladesworn or the apples you just sorted or the display you just made or the surgery you just did is crap, or just give you critiques on it and not take it personally. And from what I see, either ArenaNet has a bad habit of doing that or not being at least able to turn around and act on positive or critical feedback in any capacity that's healthy for the game because their balance cadence is so slow. So, again, I don't think it's a priority for them, and I'm not calling them like tiny babies that go wham, because they have asked and given us, more importantly, they've given us actual meaningful previews, and they wouldn't do that if they hated the community or didn't want to listen to them. Like, they literally don't have to do that. And I give them amazing props. I just wish that when they do something that's incredibly overpowered for whatever game mode, whether it's Willbender or Virtuoso or Bladesworn or anything, that they find a way to take critical feedback, critical meaningful feedback that's thought out and not just people yelling at them over the people that are yelling at them, right? If it's better. Or if it's not, at least action on some changes they put in the game without attritioning the people that feel like they're invested enough to give that feedback. Because a lot of my friends have just quit this game because they're frustrated with it, and I mean, that's fair. Like, go away, come back, try different stuff, but that happens with every video game, right? You play something, you criticize it because you love it, etc. But when you give a bunch of constructive feedback or when you invest a bunch of time into something, it works both ways. And if the people who are playing Bladesworn or Willbender or whatever, and it gets nerfed, or Transfusion Necro is a great example, they feel attacked, they feel hurt, they feel like the class identity is gone. That's completely unfounded and stupid, which is why I'm still playing this class and enjoying it, because I still enjoy it, and I don't feel attacked when they nerf Bladesworn. I just want to know why, you know what I mean? And to their credit, they've started to explain that better. So, ANET does a lot of stuff right. They also just bafflingly suck at some stuff. I don't know, no one's perfect, I'm not. I would love beta test characters, though. Just more feedback better, I think, is the answer to it. One thing that, you know, I hate this term because it's not real and nobody knows how it really works, but like how AI works, and the thing that one of the things that AI could actually help with is sorting meaningful feedback from the community. So I hope that ArenaNet at some point implements something like that.